Good evening, soccer fans, and welcome to the Rochester Rhinos pregame show, sponsored by Perry's Ice Cream. I'm Joe Giuliano, and tonight the Rhinos face the USL First Division leading the arch rival, the team no one likes here in Rochester, the Montreal Impact. The Rhinos will play them twice this week. Tonight, it starts at the Claude Robillard Sports Complex in Montreal. The Rhinos then return home to face the Impact right here at Paytech Park Friday night, August the 11th, 7:35 p.m. Kickoff. It's Doug Miller night at Paytech Park. Tonight is the first Rhinos away game since June 28th. That last match took place in Montreal, a 1-0 victory for the Impact. Hopefully the Rhinos will try and change things tonight against the Montreal Impact. The Rhinos coming off a 1-0 victory over the Atlanta Silverbacks last Saturday at Paytech Park. Greg Howe scored the game-winning goal in second-half stoppage time to give the Rhinos the very, very big 3 points in the USL First Division standings. And what can you say about this guy, goalkeeper Scotty Vallow, recording his league-leading 10th shutout of the season? Scott Vallow has stood on his head, to say the least. So entering the game tonight, here's the situation. The Rhinos, their 9 wins, 2 losses, and 7 ties are good for 34 points. They stand tied for third in the USL First Division. They're 6 points behind the Montreal Impact. The Rhinos have given up only 14 goals this year. Guess who's given up the fewest? You know it. Our boys to the north, Montreal, 11 goals against. They're 1-2 in the USL First Division. And up at Claude Robillard Stadium, the Rhinos have had really no success at all. 1 win, 13 losses, and 2 ties all time in Montreal. It changes when they play in Rochester. The Rhinos have won 10, lost 7, and tied 3. The Rhinos have not scored in Montreal in 11 games. The last 11 games, the Rhinos are 0-9-2 in Montreal. Telling you the importance of this game with only 6 points separating the Rhinos and the Impact. The Rhinos finished their 6-game July homestand with a record of 4 wins, 1 loss, and 1 tie. Tonight's opponent, the arch rivals. You can throw Charleston and Richmond right out the window when it comes to rivalries. Richmond now in a lower division. This is the rivalry, possibly the best rivalry in American soccer or North American soccer. The Impact enter the game tonight with a record of 11 wins, 2 losses, and 7 ties. They've got 40 points together in first place in the USL First Division standings. They're 2-1-2 in their last 5 games, and they played to 2 draws, 2 1-1 draws at Virginia Beach over the weekend. Montreal yet to lose at home this year, 6 wins, no losses, and 3 ties. They're led by forward Mauricio Salas, who has registered 15 points through 18 games this season. And there was some talk about a trade involving Charles Becky or Connolly Adosian with regards to Mauricio Salas. But Salas, since then, has lit the place on fire. Becky, Adosian stay with the Rhinos, and Salas stays up in Montreal. Montreal's goalkeeper, Andrew Weber, he is tied for third in the First Division with 8 wins and tied for second in shutouts with 7. Weber leads the league in goals against average through 14 games, a .57 goals against average. Not bad when considering he's filling in for Greg Sutton, who's out with a fractured finger. Out tonight for the Montreal Impact defender Gabe Gervais with a groin injury, out for 1 more week. And Antonio Ribeiro with a red card. He is suspended tonight. In Montreal, recently signing former Rhino Billy Sedgwick. He started at right back over the weekend for Montreal. And also 2005 Rhinos MVP Kirk Wilson, also a member of the Montreal Impact. We'll see if they get a look tonight against their former mates, the Rochester Raging Rhinos. The Rhinos have met the Impact 36 times in team history. Rochester's 11-20-5 all-time against the Impact. And they played 1 time in Rochester, a scoreless tie, and then June 28th, Montreal 1-0 over the Rhinos. When we come back, we'll speak with Soccer Sam. He is up at Claude Robillard Stadium in Montreal. You're listening to the Rhinos pregame show sponsored by Perry's Ice Cream on the Rhinos Broadcast Network. Welcome back. Preparing you tonight for the Rochester Raging Rhinos and the Montreal Impact from the Claude Robillard Sports Complex in Montreal. The Rhinos, Soccer Sam up there with the team and getting ready for a huge match tonight between the Rochester Raging Rhinos and the Montreal Impact. Soccer Sam from Canada, welcome to the pregame show. How are you, buddy?
Doing great, man. This place is jamming. It's full already.
Phone problems.
Almost
He's
30
probably paying his phone bill up in
time.
Canada. There he is. Sammy, we cut you off for a second.
30 minutes before game time, this place is jam-packed. I'm waiting for the Stampede and the Safari to show up. I'm near the gates. I'm with the security. They're expecting about 100 Rochester fans here. And the sight line right now, both teams, I just looked over, Joe, and I listened to your little pregame report there. Billy Sedgwick, Kirk Wilson, all alone in the corner, juggling the ball back and forth to each other. It was a weird feeling, man. Two former Rhinos doing their thing. What are you going to do? Matthew Ford is here. He's talking on the field with Coach Laurie Calloway. They're discussing some stuff, but it's going to be an amazing night here in Canada.
Sammy, the Impact have been drawing, 12, 13,000 a game. Are you guys looking at that same number tonight?
Joe, I talked to Joey Saputo right before a few minutes ago. He says that ever since the Montreal No Impact went non-profit, they've made a lot of profit. What's going on here is that a lot of their sponsors, which are paying top dollar sponsors now, that are interested in becoming sponsors because they're non-profit, they're doing it for a good reason. Each sponsorship group, each sponsor gets about 1,000 tickets. So what the Impact has done differently than they've done in the past, since the sponsor is paying for those tickets, they, as a corporation, as a group, make sure they get distributed. There's all kinds of different groups here, from church groups to teams. A lot of what the Rhinos have been doing for years, they're doing now here. The difference is that these sponsors are supporting this as a nonprofit. So in return, the Montreal Impact say, hey, you know what? We're going to give 1,000 tickets to the boys club. We're going to give 1,000 tickets to Camp Good Days. We're going to make sure they're there. And so the sponsor feels like he's really getting his money's worth, and these kids get to see great soccer.
Unbelievable stuff going on in Montreal. The weather, it's a beautiful day here in Rochester up north. What are the conditions like?
Beautiful, Joe. 75 degrees, clear skies. And it's just beautiful. Not a cloud in the sky. A couple planes I just saw drive by. But it's a TV game here in Canada, so they got the camera guys all set up all over the place. Gervais definitely is not playing. They said he might have been questionable. I talked to someone earlier, but he's out there. It looks like he's still injured. And Sutton's taking some shots on net, so his finger must be healing. But Floyd Weber there, Andrew Floyd Weber, I think he's definitely going to be starting tonight. But it looks like I just saw Sutton just now just take a diving save, hitting that hand with the broken finger. So he's almost ready. He might be ready for Friday night in Rochester if he's not ready tonight.
Tim, the Rhinos have had a bit of injuries there. We know Menyanger didn't make the trip, but also some updates on the Rhinos' injuries. Who's there? Maybe a couple players who are not in Montreal tonight.
Joe, the only one that I know, you mentioned Younger. Obviously, he's not here. Boom Boom is not here, I think, because of visa problems. And on the field right now I see T-Bone Bonsu, who they talked about the concussions. He is on the field, and it looks like he will play tonight. I don't see Ricky Lewis here in the lineup, so I think he still is suffering from concussion. But the usual cast of characters, including some of the young rookies, are here warming up on the field and getting ready to go in the locker room to get dressed up. Coach Calloway's calling the players off the field. Say, guys, let's get back in the locker room. Let's get ready for this big victory here in Montreal.
Sammy, thanks a lot. We'll talk to you on the postgame show.
All right, Joe. I'll talk to you. Thanks a lot, buddy. Bye-bye.
Soccer Sam from the Claude Robillard Sports Complex in Montreal, preparing for the Rhinos and the Montreal Impact kickoff coming at 7:35 with Don Stevens, who's also up in Canada. When we come back, we'll take a look at the schedule in the USL First Division for this week and also the standings in the USL First Division. You're listening to the Rhinos pregame show sponsored by Perry's Ice Cream on the Rhinos Broadcast Network. Well, what can you say, folks, as far as matchups in the USL First Division? They don't get any bigger than tonight, the Rhinos and the Montreal Impact from Claude Robillard Stadium in Montreal, Quebec. Don Stevens will have all the action coming up at 7:35. A couple of games tonight in the USL First Division, of course, Rochester at Montreal and Puerto Rico at the Charleston Battery. Again, the Rhinos in the Battery are tied with 34 points in third place. Two games tomorrow, Toronto at Minnesota and Virginia Beach at Portland. And then on Friday, Montreal comes to Paytech Park. Virginia Beach goes to Seattle. Looking at the standings now in the USL First Division, the Impact, again, in first place by themselves with 40 points, followed by Vancouver with 35 points, Charleston and the Rhinos with 34 points, and then a little bit of a gap as Virginia Beach comes in with 29, Atlanta and Puerto Rico with 28. Let's look at some of the standings in the USL First Division. First Division Team of the Week for Week 16. 2 players from the Rhinos named to the squad. Greg Howes scoring the game winner, 1-0 win over Atlanta. And, of course, guess who? Scotty Vallow, the goalkeeper, 9 saves, earning his 10th shutout over the Silverbacks last weekend. 1 player for Montreal, Lars Lassonde, who played for Coach Callaway, also named. He had an assist in the 1-1 draw at Virginia Beach. And to reward their loyal fans, the Minnesota Thunder are guaranteeing a victory tomorrow night when they take on the Toronto Lynx at James Griffin Stadium in St. Paul, Minnesota. It's a very bold statement. This team is in 12th place in the USL First Division. They've only got 4 wins all year. If the Thunder do not win, everyone in attendance gets a free ticket to be used at the games on August 13th or August 20th. Now, the August 13th game is against the Rochester Raging Rhinos. So, the Thunder guaranteeing victory tomorrow against Toronto. We'll see how that works out in the USL First Division. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll take a look at the schedule in the U.S. Open Cup quarterfinal and talk about some teams from Spain traveling around the U.S. You are listening to the Rhinos pregame show, sponsored by Perry's Ice Cream on the Rhinos Broadcast Network. The Colorado Rapids will be playing at the L.A. Galaxy, FC Dallas at the Houston Dynamo, and the New York Red Bulls at D.C. United. The Revolution from New England, who knocked out the Rochester Raging Rhinos, will take on either the Kansas City Wizards or the Chicago Fire. KC plays at Chicago on Monday, August the 14th. And Diego Martinez scored a late goal to give Mexico's Chivas of Guadalajara a 1-1 tie with FC Barcelona on Sunday. A sellout crowd of 92,650 at LA's Coliseum. The attendance is the largest ever for a soccer game in the U.S. involving a club team. Ronaldinho, the 2-time FIFA Player of the Year, entered the game in the 46th minute to a loud ovation, accompanied by the popping, of course, of cameras in the huge crowd of over 92,000. Barcelona, the defending Spanish and European champions, continue their tour of the U.S. with a game against Club America tonight in Houston. That game is on the Fox Soccer Channel. Also tonight, another huge team from Spain, Real Madrid, taking on Major League Soccer's D.C. United. That'll be at Quest Field in Seattle. Fewer than 7,000 tickets remain. They're expecting a crowd of about 60,000 fans for Real Madrid and D.C. United. Real Madrid also taking on Real Salt Lake this weekend. And Inter Milan have signed a loan deal to bring Chelsea's Argentine striker Hernan Crespo back to the San Siro. Crespo spent the 2002 and 2003 seasons at Inter before joining Chelsea. And AC Milan appear on the verge of prying away striker Zlatan Ibrahimovic away from Juventus. The Red and Black have reached an agreement for the transfer of the forward for around 28 million euros. How much that is in U.S. dollars, I didn't figure out. I apologize. We'll get that for you later on, I guess. When we come back, we'll throw it to Don Stevens. He has got the coach's interview ready to go, and probably one of the biggest games of the year for the Rochester Raging Rhinos. It's the Impact and the Rhinos from the difficult Claude Robillard Stadium. You've been listening to the Rhinos pregame show.
Welcome to Claude Robillard Stadium here in Montreal, and sorry about the mechanical problems, but should be solved, and we should be set for the evening as we're just getting underway. No score, a quick shot in, punched over top of the crossbar by Greg Sutton. His first team back from an injury on a nice shot from 20 yards out by Delicott, and it creates a corner kick. That's the first shot opportunity at either end of the field here tonight, and the Rhinos come up with a great chance, but Sutton clears it up over the crossbar, and it'll be a corner kick, the first corner of the match for the Rhinos. Greg Sutton injured after the 6th game of the season and missed the last 14, but he's back in the lineup here tonight, getting the start. Off the left wing corner, here's the high floater to the back post, and it's through everybody. One bouncer out the near end of the 18, and unable to get to it as Birch. It rolls away and out. So it'll be a throw-in on the near side for the Montreal Impact, their own end of the field, down around their 5, and the throw-in along the near side. The Rhinos shooting the net to my right here in the first half of play. And down to my left is Scott Vallow. The Rhinos wearing the yellow uniforms tonight with the black shorts. And the home team, the Montreal Impact, wearing the predominantly white uniform. As the ball is cleared across midfield into Rhino territory. Birch will touch it off on the near side, but continuing on up the left wing. There's Di Lorenzo for Montreal. Trying to clear it away, but blocked by Bolton. Rolls out on the near side. Di Lorenzo being battled there for the ball along with Kraft, and he's knocked down. Ball rolls out. It'll be a throw-in. Actually, foul is called on Kraft, so it'll be a restart for the Impact from the Rochester 40 on the near side. Played back in the middle for C. Roberto. He'll cross it, and we apologize for the mechanical problems, but things evidently are solved and hopefully working now. For the Rhinos, starting out, Scott Dallow in goal. Sanfilippo, Birch, Palguda, and Kraft are the defenders. The midfielders, Ball, Bonsu, Bolton, and Lines. And then up front, it's Delicate and Greg Howes is the other forward here tonight. Dallow with the right foot drives it out through midfield off on the left wing side. Flick forward by Howes, but that in turn is played aside by Vincello. And he'll make that Braz on the far wing and out near midfield. It's settled finally by Kirk Wilson of the Impact. Drawn to the outside, but never out of bounds, and that off the Rhinos, so it'll be a throw-in for the Rhinos, rather for Montreal across the way. Is Roberto along his own 35, and a pass in the middle on the near side. Vincello on the left wing, goes to the outside, but that's behind Lisan and out. So it'll be a throw-in now for the Rhinos on the near side of the field from their own 35. Frankie Sanfilippo missed last game with an injury, back in the lineup here tonight. Goes short of the throw into Lines. One touch right back to Sanfilippo. Rolls it off toward the middle. Lines at the right side for Ball. Bolton return pass on a give and go to Ball, but Vincello steps in and he'll let it roll out as he blocks Ball away from the ball. Throw in for Montreal from their own 35. Off on the near side of the field. All right, back on the near side of Vincello. Long chip downfield. Biello trying to get in underneath it. Played aside by Birch. 1-on-1 with Biello. Rolls out on the near wing and helping out his ball. Now Bolton able to tip it away. And that off of Bolton to the Rhinos, who turns and has a few words for the referee saying, no, it went off of Montreal. That ball is taken on the throw in by the Impact. Toward the middle. Lines touching it off in the middle. However, and right to Mert. And the Impact have it. Wilson plays it off on the right side. Deep to the outside. High cross for the back post. In front, headed away by Sanfilippo off of the far corner. And it bends out over the end line. A corner kick now for the Impact. Montreal corner. Montreal off to its best start in franchise history. Unbeaten in the first 9 home games of the season. 6 wins and 3 ties. Unbeaten at home. So a great start of the season, especially on the home pitch for the Montreal Impact. Off the right wing side, here's the left-footed in-swinging kick in front, punched away by Battle, up in the air, and it comes out the near end of the 18. Ball rolling away and out. Battle had a collision with Z. Roberto, and he looks for the referee for the foul, but no call made. Z. Roberto gets up hobbling. Off on the near side again, Lisan. Working toward the end line, but drops it back out top for Mert with the right foot crossing down in front. That's knocked down by Birch, gets a boot on it with the right foot, puts it high in the air out to near midfield. Back Vincello nods it forward. In the center circle, Pisolito. Been out the last couple of games, suspended. Back in the lineup tonight. Ball now flicks it ahead toward midfield. And it's recovered by the Impact. Off of the near side. Lisan gets tied up. Bolton now has it at his feet. Places it to the outside. Sanfilippo can't reach it. And controlled by Biello. Rolls it to the outside up the near wing. Down to the 15 along the near side. Trying to work his way out in front is Di Lorenzo. To the end line as he's watched 1v1. And now Bolton moving over to help out. On the near side, Lisan finally is knocked off the ball. It comes out of the near wing, but recovers it. On the near corner of the 18, drops it off toward the top. Taken there, Mert will switch it to the right wing side, and after it, Vincello. Adam Braz make that on the right side to the 20. Left-footed deal, cross it to the back post. In underneath it, Di Lorenzo plays it back in through the middle. Out the far end of the 18. After, once again, Braz on the right wing side. Rolls it out top, around the 30. Play back. Around the 35 to Z. Roberto, and he'll work up the right side, drawing it forward. Tried to slot it through, but that's blocked aside. The Rhinos take it back. Bonsu, Kraft, dropping it off. Pelguda on the left side, too far ahead. Rolls out of bounds, throw it across the way for the Impact. In Rhino territory, down around the 25. No score. 8th minute here at Claude Robillard Stadium. Played off on the near side, sliding in on the ball to take it away. Palguda left foot's ahead, but stepping in underneath is Roberto from Montreal. And jam it in the air, and then Ball knocks it down, and Bolton flicks it ahead to the center circle. Pushed high in the air again out the far wing. Vincello and out of bounds. Throw in for the Rhinos from their own 35 on the far side of the field. Again, Rochester attacking the net to our right here in the first half. Sold out stadium at Claude Robillard Stadium. Last year, evidently, of the stadium here is they'll be breaking ground and building a new stadium, which they say they could have done before the start of next season. Talking with Joey Saputo, the owner of the team, says, yeah, he figures they're going to have it done by next season. Played away and out. It'll be a throw in at midfield for the Rhinos on the far side of the field. This for the Rhinos, game 19 of the season. And for the Impact, who currently lead the league, game 21. So Rochester with a couple of games in hand. Evidently a foul was called because the Rhinos do have a restart. Yeah, they're moving Palguda back. Yeah, there's the restart. Somewhere around the 50. Just across midfield. into Montreal territory. So far this year, the Rhinos with a loss and a tie against Montreal. Tie at home, a 1-0 loss here back on June the 28th. Ball flighted down in, but foul is called on the Rhinos for pushing inside the 18 until the whistle blows, and it'll be a free kick for Greg Sutton, the keeper for the Montreal Impact. Man, what a job Andrew Weber did in replacement of Sutton, who had a broken bone in his hand. Weber came in, played 14 games, ended up leading the league with the best goals against average, the wins, and on, and all of a sudden when Sutton comes back, he's number 2 again. How would you like that? Right down to the near corner of the 18. Biella with it, turns. Bolton blocks the ball away from him. Delicott drops it back, and ball will chip a high one out into the midfield circle. In underneath it, Pisolito pushing it off on the far side for Braz. Off the right wing through midfield, deflected away, rolling, and out of bounds. And off of the Rhinos, so it'll be a throw-in for Montreal on the far side of the field. At the Rochester 40. Just getting started again, early stages. These teams playing 4 times this year. Twice. This is the second and last game here in Montreal. They have one more, and that'll be Friday night in Rochester. Shot in by Biello. One big hopper. Now to knock it away. Biello, and it got away from him again. Chasing it down, finally diving at it at the 18. It was a skipping ball. A spinner. A knuckleball, if you will. Took a funny hop on Biello. He did block it as he was in front of it. Then it bounced off his chest out forward. Went to grab it again as Lisan was right on the doorstep. It got away from him again, still spinning, and finally he was able to pounce on it. Now cleared away downfield. Back toward the Impact, jammed away on the near side as the ball is knocked down by Lisan, rolls out, and the Rhinos will have it on the throw-in, make that Di Lorenzo to knock it out. John Ball for the Rhinos off the right wing side. Goes the throw-in down toward the 18, knocked away. Howes knocked it down but couldn't control. And as he bumps, takes down Vincello, and play goes on as Howes has a few words for the referee. Down inside on the throw-in, inside the 18. That pops up in the air, headed away on the near wing. And with a left foot, volleyed out to midfield. Salas, the leading scorer for the Impact, in underneath it. As he is able to bike it back over midfield, Rhinos in turn knock it the other way into Montreal side, and then Z. Roberto puts it across midfield on the near wing. In underneath it is Di Lorenzo. For the Impact, down to the 20, to the 15, chased by Sanfilippo. To the end line, Bolton coming in. He'll block it out over the end line. Nice job by the youngster Josh Bolton, his second start in USL First Division play. Did a great job last game and earned the start here again tonight. Corner kick off the left wing side this time for the Impact. Right-footed kick, in-swinging kick, high floater for the back post. Up in the air, Bolton nods it, and then back out around the 18. Sellers pops it up in the air. Comes way on top. A crack at the ball by Di Lorenzo. Tried to sneak it through, but blocked around the 10, and then hammered away and downfield by the Rhinos. Played right back by Vincello into Rhino territory. Birch there to head it across midfield. Howes in underneath it. Tried to feed to the middle for Lines with a whistle to stop play. And the foul is called on the Impact, so a restart for the Rhinos. Rochester restart from 40 yards out. Ball plays it off in the middle for Bolton. Has it 35 yards out. Trying to draw it forward. Kicked away off his foot. And carried upfield by Biello. Across midfield to make that Mert. Got a little elbow to his chops from Bonsu for his efforts. And now the ball out, so a throw-in on the near side for the Rhinos. Sanfilippo drops it back to around the 35 with a throw into Birch. And to midfield for Aaron Lines. Turns it up the right wing and across midfield for Ball. As he spins to get away from Di Lorenzo, dropping it back. And now a chip downfield by Sanfilippo. Coming down around the 20, headed aside by Vincello of the Impact, and then volleyed out through midfield, but it'll skip out of bounds on the near side. Throw in for the Rhinos near the midfield line on the near side. Frankie Sanfilippo for the throw-in. Going for Howes, right back to Sanfilippo, drawing it forward. Tried to slot it through with the left foot, but it bounced away off a leg, gets it right back. Drops it to his own side of midfield, and Birch will play it off in the middle for Valguda. Has to hustle to jam it away downfield as Biello was right there. And when skipping away off the right wing side out of bounds. So a throw-in on the near side of the field for the Impact from their own 25. Lisan goes back with the throw-in. Vincello plays it away toward midfield, and Bolton steps in underneath it. His pass in turn then picked off by Montreal's Di Lorenzo. And the Impact with the ball. But in turn, Kraft steals it away. However, the Montreal player taken down, and so a foul is called. Restart for the Impact. Pisolito sends it through the center circle off on the near wing for Lisan. On the left wing, a high chip downfield. Underneath it, Sellers, the near corner of the 18. Pops it up in the air, back to help out Sanfilippo. Nods it back to the keeper, Ballo, when he picks it up on the first hop. Rhinos certainly have not had much luck here in Montreal of late. Been a long time since they've won a game here. Been a long time since they've even scored a goal here. In the center circle, Bonsu drives it off on the left wing side. Kraft checking back, drops it off near midfield for Palguda. Goes up the left wing side. Lines drops it back again, and Palguda drawing it forward to the left wing. Actually, a foul was called, so it'll be a restart for the Rhinos. 35 yards out off the left wing side. Winless the last 12 games for the Rhinos here at Club Robillard Stadium. An 0-10-2 record in Montreal over the last 12 games they played here. And if you want to count the playoffs, it's 15 games at 0-11-4. And the last time the Rhinos won here in Montreal was in 1998, a 3-2 shootout victory in the playoffs. Cross midfield. Jammed again into Montreal territory, but the Impact bringing it away. Merck tackled down by Kraft. And play goes on. Ball rolling toward the middle. Zé Roberto, and right on him is Howes as they bump, and a foul is called on Greg Howes. So a restart for the Impact. Their own side of midfield. And on the near wing, working the left wing side now. Vincello with the left foot goes long to the near side. Down deep to the corner. De Lorenzo with Sanfilippo on him. Ball helping out. Foul is called as De Lorenzo taken down. So a free kick for Montreal. At 18 yards out off the near side. No score. We're in the 15th minute. 15th minute here in Montreal. De Lorenzo will set it up with a left-footed kick along the 6-head ball into the back post, and he misses the foot line right of the net. Zé Roberto with the head ball. A one bouncer just missing the right post by about a foot. Oh, that was close. It's still scoreless. Goal kick for the Rhinos. Sponsors of these broadcasts include the World Gym, the official strength training facility of the Rochester Sports Group at 1717 East Avenue. By Power Trip, taste the power. By Marina Dodge at 943 Ridge Road in Webster. And by the Democratic Chronicle. Catch all of tonight's Rhinos game highlights in tomorrow's DNC. None of those are sponsors of these broadcasts all season long. Goal kick. Vallo sends it downfield, rolling deep to the far corner. They're taken and pushed into the 18-yard box. It's played away and out by Vincello. Drop back Pizzolito as he turns trying to get away from Delicott with the left foot. It's Pizzolito drive it out through midfield, and it rolls out of bounds on the far side. Throw in from the Rhinos at their own 45 on the far side. Approaching midfield, Palguda to take the throw in. The Rhinos going with a 3-5-2. There's the throw in. Off the far wing, Kraft dropping it back, but that went bouncing away to the Impact. Montreal with the ball. Merck crossing through the center circle on the near side. And a race for the ball. Getting to it is De Lorenzo. Pass ahead, but Sanfilippo went underneath it. Heads it away for Lines. Spinning back with the ball. He'll drop it back to his 20 for Birch and plays it back to the keeper. And Vallo first times it away. High floater across the midfield line. Howell's able to flick it forward up the near wing. But turning back for it goes Vincello. Looks like the Impact also with three defenders here tonight. These two teams known for their 4-4-2s over the years. And both switched it up a little bit, it looks like, here this evening. On the right side, ball across midfield. Pass in the middle for Lines. Bounced away off his foot. And recovered by the Impact. Off on the near side, out toward midfield. Blisson jams it away downfield and back toward Birch. Turns it to the outside to get away from Gallo. Rolls it up the right side to around the 30 for Ball, and a pass toward the middle for Bolton. Drops it back again. Birch in the middle, Bolton, and as long as 35, he'll play it off in the middle. Taken there by Sanfilippo. Turns it to his left along the 18, Palguda, but his pass deflected aside, almost taken away. Now it's loose, and Palguda gets it again. However, foul is called 25 yards out on the Rhinos as Merck was taken down. So it'll be a restart, a free kick for Montreal, about 28 yards out, a little bit to the right of center. Dangerous spot right here, 18th minute for Montreal, no score. Off on the ball being placed. Looks like Mert is one. Salas is another. Salas currently leading the team in scoring with 7 goals and 15 points. No score from Claude Robillard Stadium. Salas steps over. Mert with the left foot will take it. Chips it down inside. They went a backheel on the near wing, and Howes gets to it for the Rhinos. He'll then volley it out through midfield. Chased all the way back downfield by the Impact. From the 35, played on the near side by Vincello. Long delivery downfield once again after Sanfilippo gets the right foot on it, but he shanked it out of bounds on the near side. Throw in for Montreal at the Rhino 40 on the near side. Two teams meeting Friday night in Rochester at Paytech Park. Don't forget Doug Miller night and the number 19 jersey to be retired Ceremonies preceding the game. Don't miss it. Friday night. Be there. Down to the 18. The short hop on the ball. Kraft plays it out toward midfield, and Delicate will block it off the chest, bringing it forward. Turns it to the outside. Up the right wing goes Greg Howes. Offside flag is in the air. Offside against the Rhinos. Howes on the right wing sprinted into the open. Just a step ahead. Mincello. He'll place the ball out around the 35. He gained a good 10 yards or 15 yards there anyway. Rolled it ahead. Lisan now drops it back in the middle for Pisolito. Again, Pisolito had been suspended the last couple of games, but back in the lineup here tonight. They do have one player out suspended, Ribeiro. And also several injuries. Gabe Gervais being one of the former Rhino is out injured. Played deep to the far corner, and Ballo will chase it down for the Rhinos. Has it along his own 10. In the far corner of the field. Right away. Sutton is back in the lineup, of course, tonight. The goalkeeper who's done so well over the last couple of years. Sutton in goal. Jason DiTullio is out for the year with an injury. Gervais and Antoniuk are the other ones who are out injured tonight for Montreal. Laid into the keeper. Ballo has it at his 20. Rolls a pass ahead for Birch. Turns it off to Palguda. His speed ahead. Bolton one touch to the outside for Kraft up the left wing. As he's chased there by Wilson, Kraft able to play it away and all the way downfield, rolling toward the end line. Nobody will get to it. Over the end line and a goal kick for Montreal. Sponsors of these broadcasts tonight include Nextel. Helping groups get things done, call 800-NEXTEL-9. By Best Volvo, Rochester's exclusive Volvo dealer at 1500 University Avenue. And by the Messenger Post. Stay posted. Call 442-POST for subscription information. Sutton, the keeper, to take the kick. Long ball, played it downfield into Rhino territory. Bonsu up, heads it across the midfield line. Delicate flicks it, trying to sneak it through, but couldn't get to it. Howes couldn't get to it, and it's then volleyed across midfield on the far wing, out of bounds. Kraft couldn't reach it. For the Rhinos, players not along on the trip. Of course, Billy Andraki just recently signed as the third keeper. Kevin Taylor, Connolly Adosian, Johnny Menyonger had some issues with border crossing, but he is also banged up. Here's the ball slotted through to Biello, trying to move in. Tackled away by Sanfilippo. He dove in feet first, got the ball, kicked it out over the end line. Another corner kick for the Impact. Also not along is Ray Martinez. Border crossing issues there. And Danny Kramer is along, but he is not suited for the game. Ricky Lewis is the other injured player that's not along. Corner kick out the right wing side. Played it down inside. Knocked down along the 6. Hit it away. Popped up in the air by Bolton out the near side. And he'll get to it first at the near corner. Able to volley it ahead. Lines chasing after it. In a race with Mincello. And Mincello blocks Lines. The ball rolls out. So throw in for the Impact on the near side of the field. Just across midfield. Lisan. With the throw into Biello. On the near wing. That's off his foot. And off of the Rhinos and out. Off of Sanfilippo. Tipped it away. So it'll be a throw in. Once again about the same spot for the Impact. Wilson tried to turn it but couldn't. It's then kicked away downfield by Ball and played all the way back to the keeper. Sutton first times it away from about his 3-yard line. Shanked it off the outside of his foot on the far side of midfield, but it does stay in play. And then Kraft heads it in the air, but that one ends up at the stands on the far side. A lot of people standing here tonight at Claude Robillard Stadium for their first place Montreal team. Rhinos and the Impact, third meeting. Last time the Rhinos will be here in the regular season this year. Played away downfield. Sanfilippo nods it up the near wing. In underneath it, Lines one touch to Bolton to the outside for Ball, and then he'll chip it across midfield. Mincello getting to it in the center circle. Came up with a boot right into the forehead. It looks like Bonsu, and a foul is called. Bonsu's all right. It's a quick restart by the Rhinos. Off on the left wing side. Bolton for Kraft. He'll cross it down inside the 18. Hindered by Howes, but way up in the air. And it's off to the right side, wide of the net. So the Rhinos get a crack at it, but put it way high and wide. After not there, it's 23 minutes into the match. We're in the 23rd minute and no score here in Montreal. Goal kick for the Impact. Sutton, the keeper. Placing the ball on the 6 with the right foot. Drives it out through midfield. The floater coming down around the Rochester 40. And it's flicked ahead. Bolton is pushed, and in behind goes Biello. At the near end of the 18, trying to sneak it through. Turns back to the right side. Across down along the 6 to settle. Hit ball in, but he flicked lifted up over top of the crossbar by about 2 feet. Sellis gets the shot away. On the cross from Biello, flicked it in, but it was 2 feet high. So a goal kick for Battle. Rhino keeper will place the ball for the goal kick. Well, what a huge 2 games this is. Right now, Montreal leading Rochester by 6 points. The Impact with 40 and Rochester with 34. Rochester was somehow able to come through with a couple of wins in these 2 games, tonight and Friday. They'd be tied for first place. But on the other hand, if Montreal, now we have a collision and a foul is being called and the yellow card is being issued to Howes. Howes is being given a yellow card here in the 24th minute. Greg Howes in his very physical play. As I was saying, if Montreal was to win both of these games, all of a sudden they would have 46 points, and the Rhinos would have 34. That'd be 12 points. So there's the 3 points or 6 points per game swing. What a 2-game series this is. Of course, the other idea is that, well, each team win once and it remains the same. But it's just a huge series tonight and Friday night between these 2 teams. Booted away and out of bounds on the far side once again. Another throw in out the far side for the Impact. Yellow along the 20 plays it to the outside, up the right wing to the end line, but off of Falguda, out over the end line. Another corner kick for the Impact.
You're on the new Fickle 93.3 FM, WFKL Fairport, proudly an Entercom communication station. The new Fickle 93.3 FM.
September 18th.
Corner kick.
That's the sound
right wing side.
9,500 people eagerly.
In swinging kick low in the box, headed up in the air, comes out the near end, and chased down. Winning, stepping over it, Lisan. Bolton on him as the end line. Bolton still battling. Lisan does get across, but that one from the 6 headed away and out top. A crack of the ball by Wilson. Puts it in, missing the left post by about 5 or 6 feet. Well, Rhino Kirk Wilson picks it out of mid-air and got the shot away, but way wide. So now, here in Montreal, the former Rhinos include Gabe Gervais, who's out injured tonight. Kirk Wilson is playing right now. Mauro Biello is playing right now. And the other one, Billy Sedgwick, is on the bench. Did play the last couple of games for this Montreal team as they played 2 games last weekend in Virginia Beach. A regularly scheduled game and a makeup game. Played both the same weekend and both ended up in 1-goal ties. That's played by Pisolito back to the keeper. Lines chasing, but Sutton with the left foot drives it away on the near side out toward midfield. Ball getting to it. Able to touch it ahead. Howes is blocked off the ball, then it's headed away and out, so it'll be a throw-in on the near side of the field for the Rhinos. Ball with the throw-in. Short to Bolton, right back to the outside for Sanfilippo. Pass off the foot of Z. Roberto went out. Throw it on the near side once again for the Rhinos, about the same spot. Ball there to take the throw-in. Goes into the box. Howes hits it to the outside. Lines up the right wing. Deep in the right wing corner. From around the 2. Switches. Trying to not make it through, but the ball is blocked. And then a foul is called as Lines grabbed onto the arm. And so it'll be a restart for the Impact. Deep in the corner on the left wing side. Moving over is Sutton, the keeper, to take the kick. With the right foot, able to drive it away downfield. Headed away by Sanfilippo toward midfield. Z. Roberto in turn volley that one in the air, coming down around the Rochester 35, nodded forward and down inside the 18, chased after the far end of the box by Kraft. His pass snuck through to midfield and up with it Lines. On the left wing side, approaching midfield, gets bumped. The ball got away from him, rolled out of bounds. So a throw in at the midfield line on the far side for the Impact. It's Montreal trying to roll the ball along the midfield line in the middle. A whistle blows as once again Sellis of the Impact down on the pitch. So foul is called on the Rhinos. And another restart for the Impact right at the midfield line on the far side. Pisolito with the right foot. Switching to the near end of the field, side of the field for Lisan. As he drops it off, moving into Lorenzo, but gets turned off the ball by Bolton. His pass then is in turn picked off by Montreal. See, Roberto has it. 35 yards out, working toward the middle, watched by Lines, and now across to the outside. And moving up on the right wing is Ross, able to tip the ball deep to the corner. As he's watched with Kraft, 1v1, sneaks it through, but then it's covered up again, rolled to the outside. That off the leg of Ross and out of bounds in the far corner. Throw in for the Rhinos. From around their own 10 off on the far side. Rhinos will leave it there, and Kenny Burch will move over for the throw-in. He'll probably try and get some distance as best he can on the throw-in. Of course, he's got the long bomb. He'll put it as far out toward midfield as possible. Takes a couple of steps. Here comes the long throw-in. He almost reached the midfield line. Head for Howes. As he gets spun around, able to play it up the left wing side. It's passed off in the middle. Nobody there for the Rhinos, and back and recovered by Montreal. Side helping out. Drops it off in the middle. Taken by Vincello. He'll switch it to the right wing side for Pisolito. As he turns, looking to get away from Howes, drops it back to his 18 once again for Vincello. Howes pressuring, and Vincello has to hustle it away, plays it through midfield. Handed by Birch into the center circle. Popped up in the air by Roberto of Montreal, and then played to the outside of the near wing. Ball in underneath him, a block for by Sellis. Make that Lisan up the left wing, looking to sneak the ball through to Biella at the near end of the 18. Turns it to the outside again. Di Lorenzo's cross. Down along the 18. As the ball is up in the air, comes off on the near side. And going down, Sellis looked like he took a funny step and sort of jarred his left knee. Gets up and he's all right. After he went down, he was not touched. Di Lorenzo with a throw in on the near side from the Rochester 25. He goes to the corner for Sellis. On the end line with the left foot, spins with a cross, high through the 6. But on the far side, as now the whistle blows, a foul is called on Sellis, and so it'll be a free kick for the Rhinos. Rochester will have the kick. Or did the ball go out? Well, it looked like he indicated a foul, but now Sanfilippo's lining up for the throw-in. From their own 15 on the near side of the field, it's the 30th minute now in Montreal, and no score. Delicate looking for the flick, but missed on it, and the ball is picked up again by Montreal. Near side, 35 yards out. Roberto along the line for Di Lorenzo. Ball tugs at him, but Di Lorenzo gets away, trying to cross in front, but puts it up over top of the net and out of play over the end line. Sponsors of these broadcasts tonight include Connolly Printing, the official printer for the Rhinos at 426-4150 is the number to call. Time Warner, get all-in-one. Digital cable, digital phone, and Roadrunner. One package, save hundreds. Also by Health Source Chiropractic. Online at healthsourcechiropractic.com. Your partners in complete health. Dr. Donald Dudley. Slided through midfield. Into Montreal territory. Then nodded into the center circle. Lines tackles it through. And somebody came down on top of him. But it is the Montreal player that's down on the field. The whistle was blown and a foul is called on Lines. That's Mert down. Well, Lines slid in on the ball. He tackled the ball. And then Mert came in behind him and ended up sprawling out over top of him. Well, I don't know where you get a foul out of that. But anyway, restart going to Montreal. Switched off on the far side of the field, but the whistle to stop play. And it's going to go the other way. The Rhinos will have the ball. No score. Speaking of no scoring, I was going to tell you when the last time the Rhinos picked up a goal here in Montreal. Have not scored a goal in the last 14 games in Montreal. Back on July 23rd of the year 2000, the Rhinos did score in a 3-1 loss. It's been a while since the Rhinos have even scored a goal here. Now able to play it away long downfield. Handed up in the air by Pisolito, then nodded toward midfield. That's headed aside by Bonsu, back across midfield to his own side of midfield. Palguda with the left foot. Put it, but deflected off the leg of Sellis downfield, still rolling to the end line, and finally it's out. Throw in from the Rhinos at their own 20. Played on a return pass to Palguda with the right foot. Able to clear it out to midfield for Delicate. Rolls it off, ball dropping it back. Bolton to the outside of the near wing, catching up Sanfilippo. And he caught his cleats in the turf and went down. Nobody around. He just stumbled and went down forward. All right, on the turnover, throw in for the impact. Drop back at their own side of midfield of Vincello. Great pace in this game. There's just no stoppage at all. And to the midfield circle, Roberto settles it there. To the outside of the right wing. Brought forward by the impact. Turn to the outside. Trying to drop it back in the middle. Once again on the far wing and a pass toward the midfield circle for Roberto. Burns trying to get away from Bolton. As to the midfield line. Roberto drops it to his own side of midfield. Pisolito now long switch to the left wing side from the side. Underneath the ball, but that's out of bounds. A little bit too much flight on the ball. So a throw in on the near side. Well, the boos you hear is that I suppose be the Stampede, the Rochester fan club coming into the pitch and walking along and waving the flags and so on, heading down to the end of the field down here. And the Montreal fans letting them know they don't really care for him. So a grand entry. I'm assuming that's the Stampede. Ball played away, but whistle blows. Foul called on Montreal. Quick restart for the Rhinos. In the middle. Center circle, Palguda to Bunch, who turns it right back to Palguda. Moving up the left wing side and turns it to the outside of midfield for Kraft. As he's being bumped around there, the ball rolls away out of bounds off of Montreal. Throw in for the Rhinos at midfield. Palguda will take the restart. 34th minute, no score. Ball dropped back in the middle. Sanfilippo turns it to the outside. Palguda up the left wing. Approaching midfield. Feet ahead, Bansu tips it in the air. Lines in underneath of the bump. Still maintains control. And now Bansu slots it through. But that's going inside the 18. And out to pick it up in the far corner of the 18 is Sutton. Well, the Montreal keeper with the ball. Takes a look downfield. Waiting for the players to move away. Nan rolls it away and out of the box. With the right foot. Drives a floater through midfield. Coming down to the Rochester 30. Up in the air. Bert's able to block it aside. But that one loose is picked up again by Montreal. Mert on the right side. Drawing it forward to the 30. Trying to slot it through to Biello. Pass ahead 20 yards out. Taken away by Kraft. And a 1v1. And then Bert's able to play it forward. Hit by Bansu to the outside again. But blocked away. And Montreal taking it right back. Impact with the ball. Roberto drops it back near midfield. Mert with a pass forward to Biello, but as he's bumped away from the ball, that's cleared high in the air off in the far wing. Out to more midfield. Touch the hit for Biello. 25 yards out. Moving forward to the 20, to the 18, 15, far corner. And kicked away by Palguda. Got the foot on it to drive it away off into the far corner of the field. It was outside the flag, so it's a throw-in about a 1 foot out from the end line. Far side of the field. The throw in to the far end of the 18. Biello plays it back to the outside. Left-footed cross down along the 6. Hit away by Bertz and off on the near side. Getting to it first. Lusan for the impact. Off the left wing to the near end of the 18. Here's a high chip down inside the 6. Up in the air. The ball played out over the end line. They got tangled up. Bolton and Sellis in the middle of the box. Fans want a foul, but don't get it. So a goal kick for the Rhinos. And Dano placing the ball at his 6. Still no score for Montreal. Dano with the right foot. Standing room only here tonight in Montreal. At both ends of the field. They're inside the fence across the way where the general admission seating is. And they're all sitting in front of the fence, inside around the outside of the running track. So it is a jammed house here tonight in Montreal. That nutmeg through neatly by Ball, but then the ball is taken away by the impact and played back near midfield. Turned up the left wing by Sellis. Cross in the middle for Biello. 35 yards out. 1v1 with Palguda. Biello trying to break through. Moving in. Shot roller. Wide left out over the end line. Biello going for the back post. Puts it way wide left and out over the end line. Another goal kick for the Rhinos. Dano placing the ball. He'll bring it away with the right foot coming in tonight. Dano tied for the league lead with 9 wins this season. Leads the league with 10 shutouts. Third in the league with a 0.77 goals against average. Third in the league with 68 saves. And he has played all the games this year. A 9-2-7 record for Scott Dano. Way and out of bounds on the far side of the field. And another great game last game to give the Rhinos the opportunity of winning it in the last couple of minutes of the game, which they did. Cross midfield. Turning to the outside. Kraft has it. Rolls it through. Bansu catching up to the outside once again. Drop back at midfield. Pass forward Palguda, but that's taken away by Roberto. Approaching midfield. Tackled away by Bansu, but laying at the midfield line and continuing on up the right wing is Braz. Being chased by Delicott. Ball rolls. No, foul. No, the ball was out. Off of the Rhinos on the far side. Or was it a foul? Evidently, was a foul was called. Some argument as to what's going on, but evidently the ball is placed. It'll be a foul and free kick for the impact. 30 yards out off the right wing side. Mert, left-footed kicker, will in-swing it. So Serves it up, down inside. Ball bouncing in and skips wide to the left post. The back posted out over the end line. Couple of bounces missing wide to the left side. Another goal kick for the Rhinos. Now the 39th minute and scoreless here in Montreal. Battle backing up on the ball. Rhino players that are available for substitution tonight: Jason Perry, Chad Severs, Johnny Steele, Charles Becky, Mike Ambersley, and Neil Dombrowski, and also, of course, goalkeeper Patrick Hannigan. Into Rhino territory. Sellis turns it to the outside, watched by Bolton. Sneaks it up the left wing, looking for the return pass, but that one skipped in behind him, then taken away by Bolton. Heads into the center circle, deflected away and across midfield. Back for go the impact. Basilito along his 20. With the right foot, bangs it away, and all the way down into Rhino territory. He's down by Pelguda, down around his 25 on the far side. With the left foot, chips one through midfield. Looked for by Delicott, trying to slot it through, but it's been blocked away by Bross at the far wing, and big bounce out of bounds. Throw in for the Rhinos, just across midfield, on the far side. Big taken by Kraft on the throw-in. As he goes short to House to the outside. Tried to nutmeg it through, but that's blocked and carried away by the impact. In the middle, Bolton coming back in turn, able to tip it aside. Rhinos regain control. Midfield, Kraft after it. Drops it off. Pelguda with a left foot drives it through midfield. That turned away and carried off by the impact. Through the center circle, pass ahead. Di Lorenzo blocked away by Sanfilippo, winning the race just barely to the ball. And Sanfilippo gets to it again, able to play it through midfield. With the impact on the near side. Di Lorenzo up the left wing. Rolls it back to the midfield line for Roberto. Bolton chasing. Roberto from 40 yards out. Looking to slot it through. Gives it off to Wilson. In the middle of the 25. Sneaks it off to his left. Sellis with the right foot. The shot blocked away by Ball. And recovered by the Rhinos. Lines with a pass ahead for Howes. Tried to tip it in the middle, but then knocked away by Mert. And drives it all the way down in his own end of the field. Turning back for it. Pizzolito picks it up at his 18. Off in the corner. Spins it up the right side. Then dropped back again inside the box. Sutton will first time it away on the near wing for Lisan, and he'll drop it back in the middle for Vincello. At the left foot, Vincello watched by Howes. He'll pull it off into the middle of the field, then turn it to his right for Pizzolito. Drawing it forward, long chip up the right side. Off in the far wing, ball settled, and bring it toward the middle. Looking to sneak it through, but can't, and then it's hammered away by Sanfilippo, bouncing out around the 30, but recovered by Montreal. Salas on the near side, giving it off to Lisan. Drops it for Roberto, driving forward to the 20, pass in the middle, but booted away out the near end of the 18, and in underneath it is Di Lorenzo. Watched by Ball. As it 10 yards out, switch to the right foot, and his cross through the 6 out the far side. Rolling to the end line, it's over the end line, and a goal kick for the Rhinos. Other sponsors of these broadcasts tonight includes Weigel's, the official hot dog at Paytech Park. By Cintas, the service professionals, discover what Cintas can do for you. And by the Hero East Athletic Club on the web at heroeast.com. Battle waits for the players to move downfield. Fights it through midfield. Delicott pushed from behind, but no foul is called, and the ball pushed off on the far side. Getting underneath it is Kraft, who then put it up the left wing there, the end line, played inside the box, and there the keeper Sutton has to first time it away. Out across midfield, not across midfield, but the Rhinos have it. Head for Bolton, center circle, looking to sneak it through. And it's deflected aside and taken away by the impact. Salas shanked it off the outside of his foot, but continuing on. Di Lorenzo up the left side, turns it to the outside. Moving inside, Lisan got a low shot away, just underneath the left hand. Shot down with goal to his left, but it was under his hand. The impact come out and score the first goal of the night here in the 43rd minute. Sellis with his team-leading 8th goal of the year. Gives him 17 points on the season. Mauricio Sellis, the 28-year-old from Brazil. So Montreal takes a 1-0 lead. Oh, wait a minute. Lisan gets the goal. Lisan, not Sellis. Di Lorenzo with the assist. Yeah, so Celis did not get the goal. The goal was scored by Lisan, his first of the year. So now the Rhinos trailing 1-0 and the ball out of midfield. After it, Birch dropping it off of the middle for Bansu. With the right foot, switching to the outside in the far wing. That's underneath the left foot, but skips out of bounds. Montreal will turn it over, and so the Rhinos will have a throw it on the far side of the field. Near midfield. 1-0 lead for the Impact. Click forward by Delicate. Off the far wing, trying to get in underneath it. Kraft, as he's blocked away, the ball and is volleyed out toward midfield. Checking back Celis, but got away from him. Bolton boots it in the air, and then up in the air, heads it forward. Off in the air again it goes, coming down around the 25, and a foul is called as Owls took down the defender, Vincello. So free kick for Montreal from their own 30. We're now in the 44th minute of a 1-0 lead for the Impact. Pizzolatto. He'll take the kick. He waits for the players to move away and downfield. Fight it away down into Rhino territory around the 20 in. Palguda heads it aside, moving forward. Mert blocked it down inside the 18. Bansu is taken down. A foul is called, and we'll have the free kick for the Rhinos. Scott Dowell will take the kick from about his own, cut it out around the 15th. And he's going to walk forward a couple more yards, about the 17th, to take the kick. Sends it away downfield. Headed in the air. That's then turn played aside, lines in underneath it. Ball blocked in the air to the far wing. Kraft after being grabbed onto, but sends it up the far wing, and now Lines, as he's grabbed onto, the ball rolls out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in, or a foul actually is called on the Impact. So a restart for the Rhinos. 35 yards out off the left wing side. No, they have turned it over. It's not a foul. It is a throw-in. So it was right the first time around. We're in stoppage time. 1 minute of additional time. Here's the throw-in down inside. Floater coming down around the 10 and then misbiked away by Murd out near midfield. Off on the near side, Sanfilippo in underneath it. Chips a high floater down inside. That's headed away and out again. Di Lorenzo and his bicycle kick out around the 35, settled by Mansu. Slots it through, turning to his left line, but it got away from him. Couldn't control and take it back by Wilson of the Impact. Off the right side, sends a long one downfield. Biello after it. Good race with Birch, and Birch wins the race, turns it to the outside, and the ball will roll out of bounds. Birch saying that he was pulled by Biello, but no caught him and throwing across the way for the Impact. And we're in stoppage time here in Montreal. The Impact having scored in the 43rd minute to take a 1-0 lead. Locked away and out of bounds on the far side. It'll be another throw-in for the Impact down inside the 18. Celis in underneath it. Back to net, can't shoot. And the ball then brought away by the Rhinos up the near side. Sanfilippo to midfield. The whistle blows, and that stops play. Play is stopped here in the first half. So we've completed a half at Montreal, Robillard Stadium. And Montreal drawing first blood as they come up with the first stadium here in Montreal. It is halftime and a 1-0 lead for the Impact over the Rhinos. The only goal scored was in the 43rd minute, near the end of the first half of play, and finally able to put it away was Lars Lisan. His first goal of the season, the assist going to Di Lorenzo, as he picked up his fourth assist, his team-leading fourth assist of the season. So Lisan from Di Lorenzo in the 43rd minute, giving Montreal a 1-0 lead. Again, that was the only goal scored in the first half of play. Other statistics from the half, Montreal outshooting Rochester by a 6-2 margin. 6 shots for the Impact and 2 for the Rhinos. Fouls, Rochester had 12 and Montreal 7. Offsides, the Rhinos 1 and Montreal none. Corner kicks, Montreal had 4 and the Rhinos had 1 corner kick. And then saves, each keeper was credited with 1 save. Vallow for the Rhinos, and Sutton is back in the mix here tonight, was credited with 1 save at the other end also. 1 caution issued on the night, that to Greg Howes of the Rhinos in the 24th minute. So there's your first half statistics, brought to you by Marina Dodge, as it is first each game. Halftime stats brought to you by Marina Dodge. Well, Montreal has a win and a tie against Rochester so far this year. The first time that they played was in Rochester, ended up in a scoreless tie. The next game was here in Montreal, in which the Impact came away with a 1-0 lead. They're trying to make it 3 games this year unbeaten against the Rhinos. In fact, they're trying to continue their best ever start in franchise history here in Montreal, as they've gone the first 9 games of the season undefeated. 6 wins and 3 ties coming into tonight for Montreal, and they're on their way of trying to make it number 10 with a 1-0 halftime lead. We'll continue in a moment from Montreal again at the half. It's the Impact 1 and the Rhinos nothing, and this is the Rhinos Broadcast Network. Tonight at Claude Robillard Stadium in Montreal, we're at the half, and it's a 1-0 lead for the Impact over the Rhinos through one half of play. Time now for the intermission interview brought to you by Connolly Printing. And tonight we're talking with one of the newcomers, a rookie for the Rhinos, rookie midfielder Mike Ambersley, a 23-year-old out of St. Louis, went to Indiana University. Well, we'll let him tell you a little bit about he and his life and his start in professional soccer. And kind of started out the conversation, asked him how he feels his start in pro soccer has been going thus far this year.
Well, I feel it's going smooth so far. I would like to get more points. I don't have any yet, but I think that will come with a little more time and get to know some of the players I'm playing with. First few games I didn't get a chance to play, but I thought I proved myself over and over in practice, and I think that's why I'm getting a chance now, a little more than I have been.
And when you came into playing pro soccer, did you have expectations? Did you figure you were going to get more playing time this year and then?
Well, yeah. Well, I got drafted to FC Dallas, so I was planning on making their team, but things didn't work out there, and I got released, so it's kind of been a blessing in disguise to come here, one of the best teams in the A-League. So, yeah, you expect more playing time at first, but if it doesn't go your way, I'm not the kind of guy that's going to pout, mope around. So, I just got to keep working hard and practice, and things will take care of itself.
It's been a little tougher start than you thought it might be there?
Yeah, I guess a little bit not getting playing time, but I think I can play at this level. I know I can. I think I've proved that when I've gotten the chance to play in games. But, yeah, it's been a little harder than I thought, but, I'm ready for it, so no big deal.
Let's go back a little ways to the beginnings for you. Where are you from, first of all?
I'm originally from St. Louis, Missouri, and I grew up there my whole life. Lived in one house with my mom and dad, my older brother, who's 26 now. And I attended a Catholic grade school and a Catholic high school, and then I went to Indiana University.
So your first time away from home was when you went to university?
Yes. Well, I've been on certain trips, here and there, but nothing for an extended period like college. So, yeah, it was a good experience. I was only 4 hours from home, so it wasn't like I was across the world or anything.
When you were growing up, was it always soccer?
No, actually, my first sport was baseball, and I got into soccer, and I played basketball in 7th and 8th grade, and I even played hockey all my life. So I played 4 sports at one time. It was, you learn a lot playing each sport, something you can add to soccer, and I think I've taken different footwork and different stuff like that, mental, to soccer. So I think it's helped me in the long run.
Was it soccer that you liked the most or excelled at the most?
I think I was better at soccer, and I knew I had the best chance of playing at a professional level, playing soccer. And I also love playing the game. It's my first love, so yeah, I had to choose soccer.
Yeah. Well, at what point you talked about playing professional? At what point did you say, I want to be a professional athlete?
As far as I can remember back, probably 4th or 5th grade, I wanted to be a professional athlete. I've watched sports. My dad played baseball growing up. He was a big baseball player. That's why he got me into baseball at first. But I thought about playing professional sports my whole life. So.
Now, you went on to university, and was it with soccer in mind? Was it the education in mind, or what?
Well, it's both. Indiana's got a great, education. You can get there. Soccer was also in the background. They were one of the best soccer teams in the country. So I talked with their coaches for an extended period of time, for a full year, and I figured that would be the best place for me, being close to home, but yet a little far from home too. So I got the best of both worlds, in the education part and the soccer part.
The education, did you come out with a degree?
I'm about 6 credits short, so I'll be finishing that online in hopefully the next year.
Yeah, what's the degree?
Sports marketing and management.
Plans for that? Do you have an idea in mind?
I'd like to work with a professional sports team of any kind. I'm really familiar with baseball. I know everything about the game, so I think I'd want to work for a baseball team down the road.
Is management on the field coaching and sales or marketing or what?
Well, I think I'd like to get a start in coaching. I don't know a whole lot about coaching. I've been a player my whole life, but I've played with some unbelievable coaches, and they've taught me some stuff along the way. So hopefully I can use what they've taught me and teach the younger kids.
Brothers and sisters?
Yeah, I got one brother who he's 26 now. He's working in St. Louis, and he attended Mizzou University of Missouri. So that's my only brother.
Any other relatives that are in sports at all?
No, I'm the first professional athlete in my family, so in the whole family. So.
And you let them know that, do you?
Oh, absolutely. Every trip, every time I go back to St. Louis, I'll let them know that. But yeah, they're all cheering for me, so it's good.
Do you have family that gets to come and see you play here in Rochester or anything at all?
Well, being from St. Louis, it's pretty far away, but my parents haven't made a trip yet, but they'll be up real soon. So other than that, no.
Yes. Now, your playing career, obviously you're not a big guy, but it looks like maybe it's speed that you rely on in your game. Is that it?
Yeah, I rely on my first couple steps. I'm not like a 40-yard dash, 50-yard dash. I'm not the fastest guy on the team, but I think the first 10 yards, I'm one of the faster guys on the team, and being small, I have to use those steps to get away from the bigger guys, and I've learned that at a young age. I've always been the smallest guy on the field, so I've learned how to use my body well, and just things I've picked up along the way that helped me at this level, like my first step.
All right, so Mike Ambersley, midfielder for the Rhinos in his rookie season with Rochester, and seeing actually a fair amount of time lately. He's had a couple of full 90-minute games under his belt now, so he's gaining a little more playing time as time goes along. He's on the bench tonight, hasn't been in the lineup yet tonight. Well, the Rhinos are going to have to come from behind in this one if they want to get back in the game, as they'll head into the second half trailing by a 1-0 margin. The Impact scoring in the 43rd minute to take a 1-goal lead. Continuing in a moment from Todd Robillard Stadium in Montreal. At the half, it is the Impact 1, the Rhinos nothing, and this is the Rhinos Broadcast Network. 1-0 at the half for the Montreal Impact over the Rhinos, and second half action just moments away from Montreal, the second to last time that the Rhinos will be playing in Montreal this year. Don't forget, Friday night, these same two teams go at it at Paytech Park in Rochester. Big night it is, Doug Miller night, as the number 19 jersey from the Rhinos' all-time leading scorer will be retired. That's Friday night, Doug Miller night. Come on out. Post-game fireworks, whole lot of things going on Friday night at Paytech Park. And then the Rhinos on Sunday off to Minnesota. So a busy three-game week this week for the Rhinos. Getting ready for the second half of play. It is a 1-0 lead for the start of the second half from Montreal. As the players coming out on the pitch for the start of the second half, again, Montreal with a 1-0 lead, having scored in the 43rd minute. Lars Lisan coming up with the goal in the 43rd minute. Lisan, one of those that played in Syracuse for Coach Laurie Calloway a couple of years ago. It looks like maybe a couple of subs for the Rhinos, as Jonathan Steele and Mike Ambersley are both up at the midfield line, awaiting the paperwork from the fourth official to step onto the pitch. So a couple of subs for the Rhinos. Again, Ambersley and Steele will be checking in. As a look across the way for the Impact, at this point, don't see any changes. Now, in the second half, the Rhinos will be shooting at the net to my left, and Scott Dowdle will be in goal down to my right. Greg Sutton, who is out breaking a bone in his hand in the sixth game of the season, has been out the last 14, but returns to the lineup tonight. The top goalie in the league last year, and having quite a year last year, continued off to a great start this year before being injured. So Ambersley is in place of Palguda. And Steele is in place of Bolton. So the Rhinos trying to gain a little more offense here. Again, bringing in Steele in the 45th minute, and Ambersley. And then taking out the defender Palguda and the defensive midfielder Josh Bolton. So the Rhinos trying to go for it to get back in this game, putting what offense they can on the pitch. And again, the Rhinos will be shooting the net to my left. Rochester taking the kickoff for the second half. Delicate and Howes set, and here we go. Howes with the ball, plays it back, his own 35, and off of the left wing side, played to the middle by Kraft for Lines. Gives it off to Bansu, moves back in a central defensive role. Meanwhile, Bansu is in the middle of the defensive row, and a pass out to midfield, picked up and brought away by the Impact. Switch to the center circle off of the near wing, up the right side. It's carried by Braz, and a pass toward the middle, but tipped aside again. That's Merck to play it aside, picked up by Sellis with a left foot cross, but blocked away by Lines, and rolls out toward midfield. Roberto back, a long chip up the right side to the end line. Wilson, but that's headed away out the near wing, and the Rhinos have it back. Into the middle, but the pass behind Ambersley is picked off, brought forward. Mert takes a shot, tipped off a leg, one hopper in, scooped up off his 6 by Vallow. Top of the ball, and they'll throw it off on the far wing. So the Impact getting a shot away to start the early goings here in the second half of play. Cross midfield, Ambersley rolls it forward. Gatticott, one touch to the outside on the right wing. Long chip down in front, but Howes, as he's bumped, it's deflected away back to midfield. Lyons will switch it off on the left wing side. Lead ahead up the left wing and on the near wing. Rod forward, a long cross down in front. And it comes out around the 20. Played back on the near side once again. Sellis able to tip it across midfield. But it'll get away from him, roll out of bounds. Throw it to the near side for the Rhinos at midfield. On the throw in, Kraft for Lyons. Drives it ahead. As he's pulled down, the foul is called, so a restart for the Rhinos. Just across midfield, down around the Montreal 45. We're in the 47th minute here in Montreal, and a 1-0 lead for the Impact. Lyons waiting for the players to position. Not Lyons, but rather Kraft goes long to the back corner of the 18, flick toward the net, but not enough on it. As it's out over the end line, and a goal kick for the Impact. Montreal goal kick. So again, the Rhinos having absolutely no luck over the years here in Montreal, and right now not having much further luck this evening, as they haven't won a game here. And they're going winless in the last 15 games here, including playoffs, and having not even scored a goal here in Montreal since the year 2000. Cross midfield, tipped away to the outside by Burtz, off the right foot, out of bounds, throwing across the way for the Impact. I'm 45 yards out to throw in along the far wing. Knocked down again, rolls away and out. Another throw in, this time as the Impact will move 10 yards further, around the 35. On the throw in to Biello, dropping him back to see Roberto. Turns to his left, being chased there by Ambersley, spinning back in the middle, now switching through, but stepping in on it, steals it away, gives a pass off the lines, gets tangled up, and then pulled down as Mert. But the foul, oh, wait a minute, the ref's going from one direction to the other. He says foul's one way, then he says that the other. Finally decides that it's against the Rhinos. So it'll be a restart for Montreal. Just across the midfield circle into Rhino territory. Z. Roberto placing the ball 45 yards out in the middle. Sends a low kick down to the 20. Biello trying to tip it back. Tackled, but now brought away. Left-footed boot in. They score. A left-footed shot from 20 yards out. Taken by Mert. He nails the upper left corner. Biello couldn't get to it, and Montreal now with a 2-0 lead. The Impact moving out to a 2-0 lead. Scoring here in the 49th minute. And certainly something the Rhinos didn't want to have happen was to go 2 down. It was a center. I believe it's Mert to get the goal. Or is it Di Lorenzo? Might be Di Lorenzo. There I see his number. Di Lorenzo, I think, was the one to get the goal. Here's the announcement on the goal. Yes, it is. Di Lorenzo gets his first. And he assisted on the first goal, so Di Lorenzo is having a big night with a goal and an assist. And Mauro Biello gets the assist. Foul is called on the near side and in Rhino territory. And the yellow card is issued to Ambersley. Ambersley gets the yellow card. So things kind of falling apart for the Rhinos right now. The caution issued in the 50th minute. And now a 2-0 lead for Montreal. Ross, pass in the center circle. Vincello with a left foot sends it forward. And underneath it, Birch, as the ball blocked up in the air. One big bounce aside, headed away. And off of the far wing after it. Ball for the Rhinos. Spins it across midfield. Big bounce, headed in the air by Pisolito off near midfield. Stepping in underneath it. Lyons able to push it forward and in the middle. And to the outside, up the left wing. Here come the Rhinos on the left side. Johnny Steele. Cross down inside, but is booted up in the air and over top of the crossbar. That off of Vincello. It'll create the corner kick for the Rhinos. Rochester corner. Had one in the first half, now one here in the second. And the corner kick off the right wing side. Wait a minute, the corner kick coming off the left wing. And it'll be taken by John Ball with the right foot and in-swinging kick. Low in the box. Sutton blocks it away on top. And then it's hammered in the air out the far end of the 18. Will skip out of bounds. Throw it on the far side for the Rhinos. Howes leaving it there. Steele also issued the yellow card. Down inside. Lighted through to the back post, and it's out over the end line. So another yellow issued to the Rhinos here in the 51st minute to Steele. And a corner kick once again, this time off the left wing side for the Rhinos. To be taken by Ball. He goes short of the in ball to Lyons, right back to Ball. At the end line, Johnny Ball looking for the cross, but is blocked away off of Z. Roberto and coming down out of bounds. Another corner for the Rhinos. Rochester now desperate to try and get something going as they trail 2-0. Ball with the right foot, this time a high tip. Off of the far end of the 6, headed up in the air. Coming down as it's booted away off the foot of Murd in the air. Out of the 6, headed toward in front. Ball back down in front, spin around. House couldn't get the shot away. It's blocked by Sutton out top. Best opportunity of the night for the Rhinos, but couldn't finish. Right away up the near wing, Sellis on the right wing side across midfield, and as he gets tangled up with Steele, goes out of bounds. And a throw in for the Impact at the Rochester 35 on the near side. Throw in. Montreal taking their time as they will from here on out, of course, with the 2-0 lead. Braz with the throw in. That's picked off by the Rhinos. Steele will then chip it through midfield. Handed off in the middle of the center circle. Mert plays it back, and chasing it all the way back goes Vincello. Burns to get away. He's watched closely by John Ball. Now sends it through midfield, but shanked it out of bounds on the near side. Throw in at midfield on the near side for the Rhinos, and Kraft up for the throw in. Kraft goes short. Ambersley right back to Kraft. Midfield line feeds it toward the middle. Ambersley tips it to the outside. Lyons runs into Braz and goes down in a collision there. And Lyons got clipped up around the nose area. It looks like he's down on the field. Braz talking to the referee, I guess laying his excuses for what he did. Might have come up a little bit with the elbow into the nose of Aaron Lyons. Lyons, they call him Kiwi out of New Zealand. 54th minute, 2-0 lead for Montreal. Now being attended to by the Rhinos trainer, Dave DePasquale. Sponsors of these broadcasts include Auto Depot and Auction Direct. For your next car, log on to auctiondirect.com. By Foodlink, Abundance Shared. By the Farish Group. Relax and enjoy stress-free living in your Farish apartment. See them all at Farish.com. And also brought to you by Freetime Magazine, Western New York's art and entertainment guide. All of those sponsoring these broadcasts all season long, making the broadcast possible. Lyons is still down the field, now sitting up. Again, he's up around his nose or forehead area. Got dinged pretty good in a collision with Anna Braz. And he's a little shaky as he's being helped up to his feet. And coming off the sideline, I don't know if he knows where he is or not. He's being directed over to the bench to sit on a chair. So the Rhinos a man down at the moment. You see if there'll be a substitution. They're putting an ice bag on the back of his neck, so looks like Lyons got dinged pretty good, and we might see a substitution. Yes, we are. Charles Becky, a former Montreal Impact player, coming onto the pitch now. So Becky is in here in the 55th minute as Lyons is out injured. A little more size up front now for the Rhinos. All right. Play will pick up. Sutton has the ball. With the right foot, half volley kick by Sutton through midfield, coming down around the Rochester 45 on the near side, tipped toward midfield by Kraft. That's blocked away and controlled by the Impact. Kirk Wilson, the former Rhino, drops it off in the center circle. Z. Roberto switching to the outside of the left wing. Stepping in, Sanfilippo knocks it away, brings it across midfield. Rhinos on the attack. Sanfilippo on the right side, down to the 35 of the 30. Slots it through, but no help there. The ball rolls to the end line, out over the end line, and a goal kick for Montreal. It is a 2-0 lead for the Impact here in Montreal in the 56th minute as we pause now for station identification.
You're on the new Fickle 93.3 FM, WFKL Fairport, proudly an Entercom communication station. The new Fickle 93.3 FM.
Goal kick. Sutton drives it away through midfield. That's flicked forward, but chased down in the far corner by the Rhinos. Spun to the outside off of a leg of a Montreal player and out, so a throw in for the Rhinos. Throw in on the far side of the field. Tipped toward midfield. Becky checking back on the ball, but he's blocked away. And it is in turn carried aside by the Impact and recovered now. A tackle from behind. Hammersley taken down. Foul is called. So a restart for the Rhinos. Right-footed drive through midfield by Ball, but Edwards sneaking through. Is picked up in the center circle by the Impact. Long kick by Wilson up the right side. Biello checking back on the ball. Drops it off for Braz. His pass toward the middle. Headed away by Burtz. Recovered 40 yards out by Wilson of the Impact. Chips it down to the 20. Biello checking back. As he gets tied up with House, Biello spins, takes a shot, puts it up over top of the crossbar. Couple of feet over top and then at it out. And a goal kick for the Rhinos. Second half of play. I have 3 shots for Montreal and 1 for the Rhinos. Of course, Montreal scoring in the 43rd minute near the end of the first half, coming right back with one in the beginning stages of the second half, scoring in the 49th minute. Well, the Rhinos really behind the 8 ball right now. Played off in the far wing. Turning back for it, Mert, as he's being bothered there by Becky, but is able to play the ball forward off the left foot. Mert high in the air, coming down to the midfield line. Headed in the air again. Hammersley underneath it, flicking it forward to Delicott. Nods it to the outside. Steele trying to turn for the ball, but getting to it is Braz to nod it away and out of bounds on the near side. A throw in for the Rhinos from 45 yards out on the near side to be taken by Nate Kraft. Here's the throw in. High floater coming down near corner of the 18, but that's headed back into the middle by Pesolito. Ahead for Sellis, tried to bike it away, but blocked by Kraft. Now it's pulled out near midfield by the Impact. Sellis in underneath it, dropping it back for Braz. On the near side with the right foot, chips it through midfield. Biello after it, and Bonsu on his heels as they bump shoulder to shoulder. And Biello goes down, ball brought away by Tima Bonsu. Nice play there, and the fans don't like it. Off in the near wing, headed by Steele across midfield. Becky turning, but can't get to it. It's recovered by the Impact. Center circle stepping in. On the other hand, his ball to intercept, brings it forward off to Becky. Turning his 25, trying to get away. Still has the ball, drops it off for Hammersley. He'll switch it to the outside of the near wing for Steele. 20 yards out. Looking for the cross, but off the left foot of Braz. Out over the end line. A corner kick for the Rhinos. Fourth corner of the half for the Rochester Rhinos. Again, Ball, right-footed kicker moving over the corner kick. 59th minute. It's corner off the left wing side. Right-footed kicker, so an in-swinging kick. Low into the box. Headed away and out. All the way out around the 40 and chased down there by Kraft. Center circle, giving it off to Sanfilippo. With the right foot, drives it ahead up the left wing side for Steele. Settles the ball. However, offside across the way. The offside flag is in the air. So the Rhinos offside, and the kick going to Montreal. 2-0 lead for the Impact. These two teams will be at Paytech Park in Rochester Friday night. Friday night at Paytech Park. Doug Miller night. Come on out and join with the rest of us in sending Doug Miller off the right way for being the all-time leading scorer of the team. His jersey, number 19, will be retired on Friday night. So don't miss the ceremonies. Be in your seats a little early. With the right foot, Pizzolito sends it through midfield. Comes back to the center circle. Biello gets a foot on it, but the Rhinos take it away. Across midfield in the middle for Delicott. Looks to the outside and rolls it up the left wing. Ahead forward is Steele. 30 yards out. Now crossing down along the 18. A little bit too much flight on the ball over House. And nodded out through midfield by Biello. Back for Bonsu. Turns it away from Sellis. Rhinos have it. Back for the ball. It's dropped by Sanfilippo all the way back to the keeper, Scott Vallow. With the right foot, sends it on the far wing, but Bird up in the air, heads it. And stepping in, Bonsu up the back of Biello as the ball is played out on the near side and across midfield for Steele. Rhinos on the attack. Steele, long cross down in front, but way in behind offside is Ball. The whistle blows. Rhinos actually, I think, had a couple of players, Delicott and Ball, were in behind and offside. Restart for the Impact. Sutton placing the ball at about his 20 as we're now in the 61st minute. 2-0 lead for the Impact. Sutton with the right foot. Line drive kick through midfield. Coming down around the Rochester 30 on the far wing. Blocked forward by Ziraberto, but in turn underneath it. Sanfilippo, but that's taken right back by the Impact. Ziraberto at the far end of the 18. Rolls it along. Roller in. Bell gets the left hand on it to punch it wide and out over the end line. Sellers with a shot going for the right post, the back post. And Vallow just barely gets his hand on it. Corner kick for Montreal. This will be off the right wing side. Trying to pick up who it is coming over for the corner kick. Looks like it might be Masoud Mert. Left-footed kick, in-swinging kick. Lights it through to the backside of the 6. Headed up in the air, coming out around the 30. Played forward once again. Sellis tips it back to midfield and controlled by the Impact. Braz sneaks a pass through midfield. Touched off on the near wing. Blocked along the wing by DiLorenzo and ahead of the right side. Played to the end line by Wilson. Getting to it, Sellis. Trying to block it in front, but that's off the foot of Bonsu out over the end line. Another corner for Montreal. Miners do have a couple of games in hand on Montreal, but they give it away here tonight. That takes the same thing as giving away the game, one of the games in hand if you lose it. Rochester coming into tonight trailing Montreal by 6 points, needing 2 wins to move into a tie for the league lead. Comes out top. Wilson with a right-footed crack on the ball, 2 feet over top of the crossbar. Wilson got a little underneath it, and the former Rhino with his first shot of the night puts it a little high. So, goal kick for the Rhinos. Again, sponsors of these broadcasts tonight include the Distillery. There's always something special brewing at the Distillery. By Yoma, the official uniform supplier to the Rhinos. Available at Eurotech at the Rochester Sports Garden. And by the Clarion Riverside Hotel across the street from the Rochester Convention Center. On ball flighted downfield, headed aside off in the far wing. That's booted away near midfield, but foul was called on the Impact. So it'll be a restart for the Rhinos. A free kick from 35 yards out. No, across the way, a throw-in, actually. The ball got away. Played out and down in the middle. Right away in upfield by Wilson. Turns to his right, trying to spin away from Howes. Rolls it to the outside of the near wing for Braz. And a pass across midfield for Bialo. Long switch to the left wing side. And underneath it, brought forward by DiLorenzo. Turning it down to the Rochester 25. He stumbled, turns back, still has the ball. Pass toward the middle, trying to sneak it through. Inside is Wilson, spinning, going down. Under his own power, and the ball got away from him, rolled over the end line. Another goal kick for the Rhinos. 2-0 lead for the Impact, scoring in the 43rd and the 49th minutes. Rochester coming in tonight actually tied with the Charleston Battery for 3rd in the league. Vancouver had snuck again into 2nd place. Coming into tonight, Montreal on top with 40, Vancouver 35, then Charleston and Rochester with 34. The Rhinos with the fewest games played in the league, only 18, now 19, coming in tonight. But you know what they say, and it's absolutely true about the games in hand, you still have to win them. Right away, pass up the left wing side, that's tipped aside and rolls out of the far wing. Rhinos playing their first road game since back in June the 28th. When they took that long homestand through the month of July, which just ended. Last time the Rhinos played on the road was also here in Montreal, back on the 28th, and 1-0 loss that night. Right upfield by the Impact. Long service downfield, big bounce coming down to the 20. Sanfilippo gets tied up and taken down, but Bonsu steps in behind and volleys it out to midfield for Greg Howes. Turns to get away up the left wing and across midfield. Pass in the middle for Hammersley, catching up to the right side. The ball, drawing it down to the 25. Cross down along the 18. Back post side, headball in by Steele, but grabbed off the post on the near side by Sutton. Steps in underneath it, grabs the ball. So the Rhinos get one directed at the net. Not much on it, and Sutton able to make an easy save. Low line drive kick into the center circle. Headed in the air by Ball. Hammersley able to flick it forward, but in turn Mert is there for the Impact to play it aside for DiLorenzo. Sellis return pass to the outside, DiLorenzo. Slide tackle on the ball by Sanfilippo, but still controlled by the Impact. DiRoberto drops it back at midfield. Pass forward to Sellis, who gets a shove, and he'll drop it off at the midfield line and play it all the way back to the defensive row for Vincello. Through midfield. That's headed away again across midfield, stepping in underneath it. Bialo rolls it to the outside. DiLorenzo, long service to Sellis at the far end of the 18. 1v1 with Burks. The ball rolls to the corner. Played off in the middle, but stepping in underneath to bring it away was Kraft for the Rhinos. Off of the far wing. That went out of way and out of bounds off the Impact. Throwing for the Rhinos at midfield. Galakai blocks it across the midfield line. Braz gets a foot on it, puts it up into the stands. So across the way, it'll be a throw-in once again for the Rhinos. No way with it. Howes in the center circle, drops it back on the near wing for Kraft. Pass toward the middle once again for Greg Howes. Scored the only goal last game, the game-winning goal in the last minute of play. Moved to a forward position again here tonight, ordinarily a midfielder. Long service downfield, and that's in behind, rolling all the way down inside the 18. Rhino keeper, Vallow up with the ball. Brings it forward. 67th minute here in Montreal, and 2-0 lead for the Impact. Down a long kick downfield, finally settled the feet. Biello in underneath it. Burns it in the air across midfield. Bonsu comes in and catches Biello with the right foot. So, Timoa Bonsu gets the yellow card as he got the cleat into the left shin of Mauro Biello. Fourth caution on the night against the Rhinos. And this one here in the 67th minute. So with the yellow cards tonight, Howes, Bonsu, Steele, and Ambersley. Biello's up, he's just fine. Free kick for the Impact, their own side of midfield. Pisolino will take the kick for the Impact. With the right foot, plays it through midfield. Back, taken away by the Rhinos. Delicott turning it upfield, tried to sneak it through to Becky, but had to slow up for the ball, couldn't get to it. Then it's jammed away and up into the stands by Montreal. Rhinos have made 3 subs on the night. Impact have not made a sub as of yet. Right down inside the 18, Impact with the ball, driven out to midfield for Biello. As he's pushed from behind, trying to get away from Burks, foul is called, and so it'll be a restart for the Impact, just to their own side of midfield. Two teams will be in Rochester on Friday night at Paytech Park. Toledo taking his time. Of course, Montreal will waste all the time they can with this 2-0 lead. Pass up the near wing, headed aside off of Bonsu. Coming down to the near corner of the 18. Bonsu with the left foot able to clear it away to near midfield. Brosnan underneath it, blocks it forward. Scramble for the ball, and up with it finally is Kraft for the Rhinos. Into the middle for Ambersley, spinning around to the 35. Turns back to the outside, sneaks it through along the near wing for Kraft. Cross midfield. Howes turning it ahead or make that steal as he grabs onto and hauls down Z. Roberto. Ball got away from him. Z. Roberto coming up after getting a cleat in the back. Referee Dominic Scully over to talk to Jonathan Steele, saying, pretty nice tackle there, young man. Grab onto his shoulders and trying to rail him down. All right, another restart for the Impact. With the right foot, Pisolino low through midfield. Headed in the air by Kraft. Nodded forward by Sanfilippo for Howes, turning back for the ball. On the far wing, Sanfilippo again. With the right foot. Pass at the wing, but that's picked off at the midfield line. In turn, no. Knocked aside, but brought away and still by Montreal. Got away from Sellis and Bonsu in underneath it. Able to jam it across midfield. Becky after the ball, trying to spin it forward. But it's blocked. He says it was a handball, but no call is made. Impact with the ball, dropped back in the middle. Pisolino shanked it off the outside of his foot. Moving in underneath it. Becky takes a shot. Chipped off the crossbar. Actually off the hand of Sutton. Then I think off the crossbar now. So Becky got a shot away, going for the upper right corner. Sutton got a hand on it. It'll be a corner kick for the Rhinos. Off the right wing side. So close, but still no cigar for Rochester. As Sutton got a hand on it. Here's the corner kick. Low in the box. Headed away and out. On the far side, turning back, chasing it down is Kraft. Plays it up the right wing side again along the far wing. Cross down inside, but blocked away out the far end of the box by Di Lorenzo. Pushed ahead. Tackled away by Howes momentarily, but still the Impact regained control. Bringing it forward to near midfield. Di Lorenzo and across and in behind is Biello, but ball rolls away and out of bounds. Throw in for the Rhinos, their own side of midfield. 71st minute here in Montreal. And a 2-0 lead for the Impact. Throw in on the midfield line for Embersley. Drops it back his own side of midfield. Sanfilippo will switch it off on the left wing side. Kraft across midfield. Turning back to the ball, Steele 1v1. Able to drop it off once again, but that pass picked off. Carried away by Wilson for the Rhinos. Then he's sandwiched off the ball. Rolls loose at the midfield line. Continuing on Z. Roberto. And he's turned and taken down by Howes. Then the ball knocked off his foot. Rolls back Sanfilippo with the right foot. Pops a high one across midfield. Headed back into the center circle. Di Lorenzo will roll it to the outside on the far wing. Stepping up with it is played across midfield by Vincello. And continuing on into Rhino territory, once again, DiLorenzo has a goal and an assist on the night. That went out of bounds, gets away, throw in for the Rhinos. Back to Sanfilippo along his 25, turns it to the outside again. Off the wing ahead for Ambersley, turning ahead to the midfield line. Sends a pass off on the right wing side, and moving in on the right wing is Ball. Goes for the net on the short side, but put it out over the end line. Looked like he was trying to catch the keeper. Sutton maybe cheating a little bit away from the post. Well, they say that Sutton did get something on it, evidently, because it's a corner kick for the Rhinos. So off the right wing side, Rochester went out the corner. Right-footed kick out high. Played it all the way out around the 30. Steele settles it with the left foot. Stepping in, takes a crack at the ball, but puts it off of DiLorenzo out on the near side. Throw in for the Rhinos. Kraft, the throwing, gets the ball right back. On the near wing, trying to sneak away, and pulled up the left wing by Steele. Down to the 10, cross along the 6 in front. Off the foot of Pizzolino, up in the air, coming down in the near corner. And away and out top, Sellis in underneath it. Trying to push it forward, but got away from him. Rolls out of bounds, and a throw in on the near side for the Rhinos. Kraft quickly in for Ambersley. Turns toward the middle, but then he's blocked off the ball by Mert, and is brought away and upfield by Sellis. Into the center circle, slots it through. Too far ahead for Biello. Rolls down to battle the Rhino keeper, and then he'll push it aside. Sanfilippo across midfield, up the right wing for Ball. Rhinos on the attack, trying to get something going here. Snuck through, far in, right foot kick, Delicott, knocked down, comes loose, rolls it to the outside, crossed along the 18, Ambersley settles the ball, can't shoot, off the near end line, it's Steele, but puts it off the foot, of the defender, browsing on over the end line. Corner kick for the Rhinos. So Rochester mounting a bit of an attack. And the corner off the left wing, ball low roller out top, Ambersley takes the first time crack at it, but couldn't block it through. Off of the far wing, picked up again by the Rhinos. Turned up the right side, gets away, and rolls out of bounds. 73rd minute now. 2-0 lead for the Impact. Throw in on the far side of the field for Montreal. From around their own 35. Rhinos step in to knock it away. Whistle to stop play, however. Foul is called on the Impact. Referee talking, issuing the yellow card. Caution is issued to DiLorenzo. And that's the first yellow on the night going to the Impact. Here in the 74th minute. Rhinos have a race start. 45 yards out off the right wing side. Howes is there with the right foot. Low into the box. Knocked down. Moving in underneath it. Becky, but can't get to it. Then it's volleyed away and out by Sellis out the near midfield. Kraft in underneath it. Drawing it forward up the left wing side with the left foot. High chip down to the 18. Headed away and on top again. And knotted down inside. But that's blocked out of the near wing. Booted away on the near side out of bounds. Throw in on the near side for the Rhinos from 30 yards out. Kraft leaves it there for Birch, who will take the throw in. Birch looking for the long ball on the high throw in, coming down just inside the 18. Delicott flicks it in the middle. No help there. The ball booted in the air by Pizzolino on the near side out of bounds. Another throw in for the Rhinos. And a substitution coming up. Former Rhino Billy Sedgwick will be checking in, and Adam Braz will be coming off. So Sedgwick will see his first game against the Rhinos here tonight. Coming in the 75th minute. Actually, Sedgwick was a Montreal Impact before he was a Rochester Rhino. Played briefly here in Montreal, then 7 years in Rochester, and now returns this year here to Montreal. Just signed this past week. So Sedgwick is in and Braz is out. Throw in down to the near corner of the 18. Foul is called. Free kick for the Rhinos. 20 yards out again near the near corner of the 18. Ball moving over. Will place the ball. And we'll see if he'll take the kick or Steele. Ambersley is also there. Referee trying to move Biello away. As the Impact with a three-man wall just inside the corner of the 18. Ref backing him up down to around the 15, but still looks like it's awful close. John Ball placing the ball with the right foot. Goes to the back post. Sutton up in the air, comes away with it. Greg Sutton, he's about 6'30", and when he puts those arms up, he's 7'29". Boy, he's got the long reach. Can almost reach from the end line to midfield. Got it tough to get him by him. Played across midfield, handed away and out of bounds. So it'll be a throw-in for the Impact from their own 40 on the near side of the field. Cross midfield, the throw-in. Back goes Bonsu, heads it in the air. As Kraft able to volley it across midfield, Dedicott in the middle. Ball passed off the shoulder of Becky, comes down to the 18 and hops loose, and a big bounce into Sutton. Well, the Montreal Impact keeper with the ball, 77th minute. Time running out on the Rhinos. They trail 2-0. Half volley kick by Sutton sends it out through midfield. All the way down to the Rochester 25, then headed away by Bonsu. On the far wing underneath it. Di Lorenzo tackled away by Sanfilippo, and the ball brought upfield. Howes long on the right side. Oh, late whistle as Becky turned behind. Late whistle, a flag very slow coming up on the offside. Sure looked like Becky might have been onside, but the offside is in the air. Looked like it was very well timed. Another substitution for the Rhinos. Dedicott off and Dombrowski is in the 77th minute. 77th minute. Dedicott is off. Dombrowski is in. That's the fourth sub of the match for the Rhinos. Still available, Perry and Sievers. Free kick for Montreal from their own 35. Vincello hammers it out through midfield. Headed away on the near side. In underneath it, Sellis. As he's able to tip it, but that out over the near touchline, and a throw in on the near side for the Rhinos. Another substitution coming up for Montreal. Kirk Wilson is off, and Fukasawa is in. Masahiro Fukasawa, the 29-year-old from Suzuki, Japan. And this sub coming in the 78th minute. So both teams trying to make sure that they maintain as fresh a legs as possible, as they'll be eating two nights from the night in Rochester, Friday night at Paytech Park. Drop back up top, pushed forward by the Impact, laid aside by Sanfilippo, and the foul is called on the Impact. Sanfilippo rolls it up the right side across midfield. Rochester on the attack, turned to the outside by Dombrowski, and a feed in the middle for Becky. He'll switch off on the left wing side, steal in underneath it. Settles it off the left foot, but that one bounced away, and Cedric able to play it out to midfield. Sellis flicking it forward, but Bonsu on the other side to take it. The Rhinos have it. Roller by Howes ahead in the middle. Ambersley to the outside on the near wing for Steele. Plays it back out around the 35 for Kraft. Looks to his left and feeds to the outside again for Jonathan Steele. Gives it back. Kraft still 35 yards out. Spending to get away from Fukasawa. Drops it back near midfield for Bonsu. To the outside again for Kraft. Rolls it toward the middle. Steele, one touch forward to Ambersley. Nods it in the middle, but that right to the Montreal Impact players and nodded away out to midfield. Sellis spun around and taken down by Kraft. Grabbed onto the arm and spun him around like a merry-go-round. Referee will have a few words for Kraft on that one. So the foul is called. Free kick for Montreal here in the 80th minute now. Off on the near side, brought away by Fukasawa up the right wing. Sends it down inside, but Birch is there to head it away. On the near wing, out of bounds, to throw in for the Impact. 18 yards out on the near side of the field, and Billy Cedric will move up for the throw-in. Cedric, short to Sellis. Back to the outside, Cedric on the roller. Down inside, but that one cleared away. And with enough foot played out to midfield by Steele. Becky sends it across the midfield line, up the near wing. Dombrowski being bothered there, return pass to Becky. Tied the back heel, but it bounced away and picked up again by the Impact. Acelita rolls it in the middle, and he's wiped out. Right away on the near side for Z. Roberto up the right wing. Chased by Ambersley. Double team now and knocked down by Howes. And the Rochester player is saying, wait a minute, he took a dive. That doesn't make any difference. The foul is called. Another substitution for Montreal. As coming off the pitch will be Sellis. And checking in is Dioya. Sellis is out. So Sellis is out in the 81st minute, and Dioya is in. That's three subs of the night for Montreal. Ball knotted down inside the Rochester 18, and the rolling ball is picked up by Vallo. got battle last game, recorded his 10th league-leading 10th shutout of the season, but tonight has given up 2. On the 18, Dombrowski turning it in the middle, moving in Embersley. High chip down inside the 18. Becky knocks it down, but nobody for the Rhinos can get a shot away. Comes out top. Biello able to touch it aside. Fukasawa along to the left wing, and that's chased after on the far side by Dioya. Can't reach it. Rolls out of bounds. Throw in a midfield on the far side for the Rhinos. Played in, Bonsu with it near the midfield line. Cross midfield for Ambersley. Turning it to the outside again. Volleyed forward by Sanfilippo through midfield. Headed up in the air on the near wing by Sedgwick. Ian Steele batting for the ball and it rolls out. Throw it to the near side for the Rhinos. Steele with a throw into Kraft. On the 30, rolls it toward the middle for Howes. With the right foot, delivers down inside. Pops up in the air near the crossbar. Sutton lead, rebound comes down, they score. The ball comes down. Becky gets the right foot on it, puts it away inside the left post. It's a one-goal game. A big hop on the ball is Dombrowski. Had him tied up with Sutton. Oh, wait a minute. There's no goal. No goal is called. No. Looked like the ref was pointing toward the center circle to indicate the goal. But he said no goal. Foul was called. And so it's no goal. I thought the Rhinos had finally scored one here. Well, Dombrowski pushing it ahead. Up the right wing side. Chased after far into the 18 after it goes ball. Near the end line. Overruns it. It's taken away. Carried out by the Impact. Well, it certainly seemed to be the indication that from the referee as he pointed toward the center circle that it was a goal. But I guess what he was saying was a foul was called. So no goal. Still 2-0 in favor of Montreal. Certainly wishful thinking as has been so long since the Rhinos have scored a goal here at Club Robillard Stadium. 83rd minute. 2-0 lead. Across the way. Foul is called on Montreal, so the Rhinos will have the restart from their own 18. Ball back into the middle, brought away. Kraft out on the near side. Off the left wing and ahead comes Howes. Howes looks like he's moved back to a defensive midfield position once again. As at the moment, it would appear that Becky and Dombrowski are the forwards. Down inside, Sutton will pick it up with Dombrowski applying the pressure. All right, Sutton with the right foot. Half volley kick, fights it through midfield, coming down around the Rochester 30. Headed in the air by Birch out the far way. In underneath it, Sanfilippo volleys a high floater coming down to the center circle. Becky checking back, able to flick it forward. However, in behind is taken away by Roberto, the Impact. Pass ahead for Biello. Captain of the Impact, pushing into the outside of the near wing. Cedric rolling into the middle, and over taken away by Kraft. Rhinos recover the ball. Lead ahead. Ambersley turns, drops it back again. Up the right side comes Sanfilippo. As he approaches the center circle with the right foot, delivers through and off on the near wing. For Steele, heads it off in the middle. However, Pizzolito there to recover the ball for the Impact. On the near side, Fukasawa across midfield. Checking back on the ball, dropped off. Dioya for Sedgwick. High chip downfield. Big bounce coming down inside the Rhino 18. Battle out to grab it. 85th minute. Time running real short now on the Rhinos. High floater by Vallo. Just across midfield. Headed in the air, back across midfield by Murd into Rhino territory, but Birch is there. Who first time it away, and in turn, that's volleyed downfield into Rhino territory. Big hop of the 18, headed away by Vallo for his defender, Timwell Bonsu. That was Roberto applying the pressure. Got up the near wing, or rather Dioya. Now across midfield for Becky. Tried the backheel flick, but missed on it. And it rolls all the way down to the Montreal Impact, recovered by the Impact. Pizzolito through midfield. Howe stepping up to block it forward for Ambersley. Pass in the middle for Ball. Drawing it forward, turns to his left, sneaks away, cross the 18, roller back in the middle, over his pass right off to Pizzolito, and it sure like Ball maybe should have taken the shot. But anyway, it was a foul called. No, ball rolled out. Looked like there was a foul being called, but no, he says it's ball out of bounds, so it'll be a throw-in. Another substitution for the Rhinos, as now John Ball is coming off. And Sievers is going in. So that's the final sub of the night for the Rhinos. In the 86th minute, Ball is out. And Sievers is in. Now Montreal, Biello is out. And into the match is Leduc. Again, 86th minute. Leduc is in and Biello is out. Here in the end here, as the Rhinos trail 2-0. Pass out toward midfield. Dioya dropping it off as it's almost taken away, but then squirts out on the far wing and played to midfield. On the left wing side across midfield. Drawing up the wing, turning back Bunsu, getting to it first. He'll spin it off into the stands on the far side and a throw in for the impact. Cross midfield into Rhino territory. Montreal throw in. 87th minute. Rod forward dropped off in the center circle. Out on the near wing to Sedgwick across the midfield line. Off the right side, a hit for Fukasawa, able to tip it ahead for Z. Roberto on the near wing. Spinning back. Has it along the near side, being chased by House. Drops it off at midfield, and he'll spin it up the right wing. Dioya with it. At the near end of the 18, Bonsu watching him. Dioya tried to draw it inside the box. Bonsu gets a foot on it to tip it away out over the end line. Corner kick for Montreal. Off the right wing side. Looks like maybe Di Lorenzo to take the corner. Again has an assist on the first goal and scored the second goal on the night. Left-footed in, swinging kick high into the box, far end. That's knocked down, rolls through it out the far end of the 18. Offside flag, so it'll be a free kick for the Rhinos. Players move away downfield. Now the Rhinos needing a field goal at this point, trailing 2-0. And now into the 88th minute. Dallo setting the ball. And with the right foot, drives it away through midfield. Out goes Becky, couldn't quite reach it. Headed back to the midfield line. Drawn across midfield by Fukasawa. Trying to sneak it through, turns to his left to get away. Still has the ball, being chased now. Inside the far end of the 18, trying to take a shot, but blocked away by Sanfilippo. Comes down to the far corner, near the end line, then rolls away and out over the end line. And off of Sanfilippo, so a corner kick for the Impact. 8th corner of the night for Montreal. And this will be taken off the left wing side. Impact taking plenty of time, getting a player over there to take the corner kick. Packed house here tonight in Montreal. Did not get an attendance figure at this point, but there was a sellout. They've done a great job in the attendance here this year. High floater through the 6 on the near side and nodded away out of the box. Shot toward the net, but blocked away again. Chased after on the near side. Montreal after the ball. Turned toward the middle by Leduc with the left foot. Goes to the back post, flighted through, and not over the end line. Goal kick for the Rhinos. Ball rolls underneath the sides once again, so the Rhinos now finally able to get the ball. Trying to get the restart going as quickly as possible. Brought away off the right wing. Rhinos need 2 goals in a big hurry as we're now in the 90th minute. Righted through midfield, but blocked away, and then up in the air. It's then pushed down inside the 18, rolling to the end line where Sutton stops it. Becky applies pressure, so Sutton picks the ball up. Brings it forward. Greg Sutton, his first game back after missing 14 with a broken bone in his hand. Picked right up where he left off. High floater downfield. Of course, the team he has in front of him helps out quite a bit, too. Bonsu. Long service downfield once again. Salado heads to the side, out on the near wing. Dombrowski after it, tangled up with Fukasawa, and Dombrowski goes down. The foul is called, and it'll be a free kick for the Rhinos, 40 yards out off the left wing side. Steele to take the restart kick. With the left foot, drives it for the right post. Up in the air, Sutton is taken down as he got tangled up. With Sanfilippo knocked him down, and the foul was called. So a free kick for the Impact. Keeper Sutton, they kick the ball to Sutton. He just turns the other way, watches it bounce out over the end line. Of course, still waiting, wasting as much time as possible. 3 minutes of stoppage time. The clock is stopped at 90. So 3 minutes of additional time. Sutton finally gets the ball, placing it at his 15th. And with the right foot, drives it away through midfield. Coming down to the Rochester 35. Headed away by Sanfilippo to the midfield line, but settled by the Impact. Pass toward the middle. Cleared away. And still controlled by the Impact. Long chip up the right side. In underneath it, Fukasawa as he's chased there and then bowled over by Steele. Foul is called. On the restart, here come the impact to the end line for Casella. Looking for the cross down inside. Locked away out the near wing. Sedgwick in underneath it. Tips it off toward the middle. Leduc with a roller ahead, but Howe steps in for the Rhinos. Ahead for Severs. Pass in the center circle, but that's picked off. And recovered once again by the impact. Severs' tackle on the ball takes the Montreal player down. They both get up, and a foul is called. It looks like it was Lisan who was taken down. So a free kick for the impact, brought away by Z. Roberto. From 30 yards out, drops it back near midfield for Sedgwick. With the left foot, jams it to the far end of the 18, knocked down, and rolls away to the end line, and DeOya won't get to it. Out over the end line, a goal kick for the Rhinos. Sponsors of these broadcasts include the Personal Health Approach, Rochester's upscale health club at 3450 Winton Place. By Phoenix Graphics for all your printing needs. Also Dodge, Grab Life by the horns. That's Dodge. Other sponsors of these broadcasts, North Nagel, Rochester's full-service realtor. Salvatore's, they deliver everything but babies. And Moyer Chevrolet Buick, West Main Street in Honeoye Falls, or online at Moyer.com. Also brought to you by Perry's Ice Cream. Life's a bowl of Perry's. Here come the impact down on the attack into Rochester territory. Rolled along, a right-footed crack of the ball, but knocked down by Bonsu. And he'll push it to the outside of the far wing. Severs brings it away. Drops it off there. Long kick downfield. By Dombrowski, and the whistle blows as it was offside against the Rhinos. Free kick the other way. Just about done here. Maybe a minute left in stoppage time at the most. As Montreal scored in the 43rd minute, came back and scored another in the 49th. Sutton on his 25 with the right foot. Sends a high floater through midfield, coming down to the Rochester 25, headed aside on the near wing. Balled him back through midfield by Steele. In underneath it, Becky, as he's wiped out, able to flick it forward. Back in the center circle, nodded forward again. Howe still trying to get loose, but that's popped high in the air. And headed aside by Leduc. Looks like a volleyball game right now as it's flicked up the far wing, and now finally settled defeat by Braz. With the left foot, spins it up in the far wing, up into the stands, whistle blows, and this one is history. So the Impact continue their dominant ways here in Montreal against the Rochester Rhinos, as the Rhinos still have not won here since the beginning of time just about. Have come out on the short end of a 2-0 score here to Montreal. Impact continuing with their best ever home start from the start of the season, best ever record from the start of the season. Now at 10 games, 7 wins and 3 ties in their 10 games to open the season. That is a franchise record best. Final score tonight from Claude Robillard Stadium here in Montreal. The Impact 2 and the Rhinos nothing. And this is the Rhinos Broadcast Network. Held tonight here in Montreal at Claude Robillard Stadium. It was the Impact coming away with a 2-0 win over the Rochester Rhinos. And Rochester now dropping even further behind first place Montreal. The Rhinos on the season, picking up only their 3rd loss actually coming into tonight. The two teams were even as the best two teams, the fewest number of losses on the season for either of the teams. Each had 2. But now it's Rochester with 3 losses, a 9-3-7 record. Montreal with a 12-2-7 record. And continue to hold on to first place in the USL First Division. Montreal now on top with 43 points. Again, a 12-2-7 record. Rochester remaining tied at the moment for 3rd place. Again, with a 9-3-7 record with 34 points. And now Rochester 9 points behind Montreal for the lead in the league. All right, and on the season, Rochester now trailing the Impact. Montreal with 2 wins and a tie against the Rhinos. So Montreal will win the season series, and the Rhinos will have an opportunity at least to come up with a win against this team on Friday night in Rochester at Paytech Park. Quick look at what happened in the game tonight. First goal came near the end of the first half. Things were pretty even to that point, and it was anybody's game until the Impact came up and scored in the 43rd minute. It was Lars Lisan getting credit for the goal, scoring his first of the season. Lisan with the assist going to Di Lorenzo, and this turned out to be not only the game's first goal, but the game-winning goal. Tanked it off the outside of his foot, but continuing on. Di Lorenzo up the left side, turns it to the outside. Moving inside, Lisan. Lisan got a low shot away, just underneath the left hand. Shot down, and we go to his left, but it was under his hand. The Impact come out and score the first goal of the night here in the 43rd minute. So it was Lisan scoring his first, and Di Lorenzo with the assist, and the Impact up to a 1-0 lead. That was it for the halftime. We moved into the second half, but Montreal came right out and doubled their lead in the early stages of the second half. Scoring in the 49th minute was DiLorenzo picking up his first, and Mauro Biella with the assist. And again, this was the insurance on the night as DiLorenzo gives Montreal a 2-0 lead. Tackled, but now brought away. Left-footed boot in. It's gone. A left-footed shot from 20 yards out. Taken by Mert. He nails the upper left corner. Mallow couldn't get to it, and Montreal now with a 2-0 lead. And it was actually DiLorenzo scoring, and that was his first of the season, with Biello assisting, and the Rhinos taking a 2-0 lead. Stats in the game, unofficial stats. I had Montreal with 10 shots and the Rhinos with 5. Corner kicks, Montreal 8 and Rochester 7. Offsides, the Rhinos 5. Montreal not offside on the night. Again, those are the unofficial stats on the night. And Scott Dowdle with the loss, his record now 9-3-7. At the other, Greg Sutton with the victory has a 4-1-2 record and picks up the shutout here tonight. All right, coming up next, the post-game show is Joe Giuliano. We'll be taking your phone calls here in just a couple of moments. And then, of course, the Rhinos on the bus. They'll head home trying to get ready for Friday night's game now as they'll be hosting the same Montreal Impact at Paytech Park. Again, a reminder, it's a big night Friday night at Paytech Park as the Rhinos' all-time leading scorer, Doug Miller, will have his jersey retired. Number 19 jersey will be retired. So a big night, big celebration, with post-game fireworks and everything going on Friday night at Paytech Park. Come on out and enjoy the fun. That'll wrap it up for us tonight from Montreal. I'm Don Stevens. Thanks so much for being along. Wish I had a better story for you, but it ends up as the Rhinos come out on the short end of the score here tonight. 2-0 is the final in favor of the Impact. Stick with us for more along the network. This is the Rhinos Broadcast Network.
Welcome back to the Rhinos Broadcast Network. If you were listening to the game with Don Stevens from Montreal, not good news as the Rhinos falling to the Montreal Impact 2-0. Other game tonight in the USL First Division, currently in stoppage time. Puerto Rico at Charleston. They are tied at 2-2. We'll have the final as that comes in here tonight on the Rhinos postgame show. When we come back, we will take your calls at 222-9393. Soccer Sam will be joining us on the phone from Montreal's Claude Robillard Sports Complex. And again, the final score from Montreal, the Impact 2, the Rhinos 0. Montreal now with a 9-point lead in the USL First Division standings. We'll take your calls at 222-9393. On the other side, you're listening to the Rhinos Broadcast Network.
Hi, Soccer Sam here for Salvatore's Pizzeria, the family from Rochester, New York, and proud of it. Salvatore's has been supplying schools and nonprofit groups with all their pizza needs since 1978. Salvatore's Pizza Fundraisers. Your group can sell and make pizzas, or Salvatore's Pasta Sauce and hot pizza slices.
And it's time for the Nextel Direct call-in show driven by Auto Depot and Auction Direct. The number 222-9393. The Rhinos falling to the Montreal Impact 2-0. And let's go to the phones right now up in Canada. Soccer Sam got to watch the 90 minutes between these two arch rivals. Sammy, welcome to the post-game show. Got the conditions we want to be talking, I'm sure.
Well, Joe, it's kind of a disappointing loss, but I mean, it was just a weird game. But Montreal played great tonight, and the Rhinos kind of came out flat. I mean, they had the first shot in the first minute of play, but after that, I mean, Montreal dominated play. But Joe, there was one positive thing I saw tonight. I saw several positive things. But one thing that really sticks out in my mind: 10 minutes into the game, the stampede from Rochester, 30-plus people come into the stadium. 13,400 people start booing the stampede.
I heard that.
and they're chanting Rhino chants and Rhino chants until they started their own chant. But I got some players lined up here, Joe. I'd love to go to Sky Valley first. They haven't given up a couple goals in a while in regulation play. Scott, your thoughts of tonight's game and having two goals given up and quality of play?
Yeah, it's disappointing. Every time you come here, it's going to be difficult. I just wish we could have played a little bit better as far as keeping possession. It seemed like the first half was just played in our half the whole time, and every time we lost it was in a dangerous spot. And I was hoping we were going to be able to get out of the half and try to sort it out. But, they nicked one right at the end of the first half and kind of threw us for a curve at halftime. Then we had the right frame of mind coming out at the second half, and then they scored one right at the beginning. And I think the second one was the backbreaker.
Scotty, at home we've been playing with 3 formation in the back, 3 defenders in the back. How do we come out tonight? I didn't get a chance to listen to Don mention anything about that.
We played a similar formation. We just wanted to make sure we kept our eye on Mauro Bielo, who kind of plays in behind Salas as opposed to alongside him. So we addressed that, and we had some pretty heroic play at the end of the half that could have kept us level, but it just wasn't our best night tonight. It wasn't for a lack of effort. We really couldn't keep the ball. The decisions we had to make were the right decisions a lot of times, but the execution was just poor. And it's just when you make a lot of mistakes against a Montreal team like this, they're going to kill you.
Friday night, you guys play again against Montreal, but this time it's in Rochester. What do you expect from that game? What do you expect to maybe change or do different?
Well, we just want to make sure we learn from this. It's only our third loss of the season, so we're doing something right. Just a matter of getting the grip of the ball. It seemed like whenever we had the ball, we couldn't keep it. We were right under pressure right away again. So we need to be able to string 4, 5, 6 passes together, get our outside midfielders involved, and try to attack a little bit more. Seems like we didn't really have much of an attack today, and I think that'll be different on Friday.
One last question, Scott. I know you're exhausted from a tough game. What makes it so difficult to play in Montreal, say, versus Virginia Beach, Atlanta, Charleston? What is it about that environment that's so? Is it the referees? Is it the fans? What is it?
No, we've actually had good referees the last couple times we've been up here. I don't know what it is. I don't know, guys. I don't know if it's bus trip. I don't know what it is, but we weren't the same team that we were all week. And we had a great week, even though we didn't get the result against New England. We had a lot of confidence coming into this game, and for some reason it just didn't go our way. And you're allowed to play a bad game every once in a while, so we're going to try to learn from it. We're going to try to get beyond it, and we're going to listen to our coaching staff and try to figure out where we go from here and try to figure out a way to beat these guys on Friday.
All right, Scott, you got 2 games in hand still with Montreal. Have a safe trip back, and we'll see you Friday at Paytuck.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Scotty Vallow, the starting goalkeeper for the Rochester Raging Rhinos, joining us here on the Nextel Direct call-in show, driven by Auto Depot and Auction Direct. Sammy, tough night for Vallow. He sounds kind of hoarse. Was he barking a lot of orders out tonight?
He was yelling, obviously yelling a lot of direction and stuff, but I tell you, one guy playing in front of him, Kenny Burst, played a fantastic game and a class move after a very difficult loss. Jumps over the fence, goes over to Stampede, and thanks them all for coming. Kenny, your thoughts on tonight's game?
It was very frustrating, very unfortunate. Like Scott said, we came out and coming up here, we definitely had a lot of confidence, especially from the last 2 games we had. We had great performances, and we figured we were going to use that to roll us into this game. And we just came out and we just had too many of our guys that didn't show up to play their game. Unfortunately, today we looked like we definitely had a lack of composure on the ball. They're a high-flying team and they pressure you very quickly, and we just looked like we were just panicking, not knowing what to do when we got the ball, and just touches weren't clean and passes weren't sharp, and we just gave way too many balls away. And you can't, a lot of times we have a lot of guys working hard, but unfortunately hard work without quality of play, it's hard to come out with a good result, especially against the team's the number 1 team right now in the league. So it's difficult, but like we said, we need to learn from it. Definitely, we need to tomorrow get back and we need to discuss it and learn from our mistakes. And guys got to definitely dig deep and look down and have some heart on Friday and bring their game.
And this is your first year with the Rhinos, your first year in the Rochester-Montreal rivalry. Has it taken you a while to get to understand how big the rivalry is between Rochester and Montreal, or have you just jumped right into this thing?
No, I think I just jumped right into it. A lot of guys told me ahead of time before we ever even played them the first time at home that it was quite the rivalry, and it was a big rivalry within these 2 clubs. Good for me. The lucky thing for me is that not being there before, I haven't had that whole real amp up thing before. I kind of come in, I just try to keep myself composed, and I look at it as just another game, another team. Trying to play my game every time. So I think like you said, I just kind of jump into it. I know definitely it's a big rivalry, and we definitely want to pull off a win against this team. We know we're capable of it. We just got to put it all together.
Can you get a nice rest on the way home, and we'll talk to you Friday after the game at Paytuck.
Thank you much, guys.
Kenny Burt's joining us here on the post-game show. And another defender who really for the Rhinos not used to giving up 2 goals. He and Scotty Vallow, a tough night up at Claude Robillard Sports Complex. And Soccer Sam mentioned 13,400 fans in attendance tonight. What a crowd. And, Sammy, any violence tonight? I know last time there was some situations after the game where you had to actually hang up the phone because it was getting crazy.
Yeah, it got crazy. Now, the only thing that was kind of scary for a while looked like the sausage stand was going to start on fire, but other than that, Joe, it was fine. Matthew Delicott playing against some tough defenders and trying to impress the old man. The father comes here from Wales to watch his son play. Matthew, tonight you had some chances early on, but there's some tough defense back there for Montreal.
Yeah, those guys at the back there, they're big, experienced, great defenders. So it's always tough playing against these guys, and that's why they're renowned for their defensive play and getting shutouts. We as a team don't want to be shut out any game, so it's very disappointing. Coming up here not getting a goal, whether it's me or any of my teammates.
Matthew, from listening to the broadcast tonight, kind of difficult to tell what was going on, but in the last 12 games, Rochester's 0-10-2. Kenny Burt's and Scotty Vallow said Montreal came in with a lot of pressure. Did that prevent you from seeing the ball out? Because we didn't hear many of the forwards' names called throughout the match.
Yeah, we're, it's our job to try and hold the ball up and obviously have shots and chances, and I think I had a shot in the first minute, and that was the only chance I had of the half. I don't even know if we had any other chances other than that. So they came out to us, putting us under a lot of pressure, just making it real tough for the forwards to find the ball. And when the midfield and are under that much pressure, it's tough for them to put in a quality ball for a forward to hold up. And then of course the attack breaks down. You're not even going to get a chance to have a shot or put a cross in. So it's very frustrating. But we've got to overcome it and try and figure out what we can do to change that, and not get shut out in games like this.
You played with Richmond last year. This year you're with the Rhinos. When it comes to playing Montreal, is there a big difference between Richmond and Rochester against this Montreal team?
Yeah, I know it's a bigger rivalry. Obviously Rochester Montreal is always a big rivalry, but whenever you play a top team, Montreal's top of the table right now. Whenever you play a team like that, you always want to do well. It's just like playing back home. Everyone wants to beat Chelsea or everyone wants to beat Man United, and Montreal. And I think Rochester are two of those teams where when you get games, you want to win those games. So, of course, when you have two teams that are one of the best 2 teams in the league, it's always a big game, and everyone's fired up for it.
Soccer Sam mentioned your father is here from Wales. When did he get in? How long is he here for? And will he see you play in Rochester?
Yeah, he saw the Atlanta game. He came in Friday, actually flew into Toronto and then drove up to Rochester, saw the Atlanta game, and drove up to Montreal today to see the game. And he'll be there Friday for the next Montreal game. So hopefully I'll get him a goal and we'll get him a win on Friday.
He should be proud of you, Matthew. You've had a great performance so far. Keep it up, okay?
Thanks very much.
Matthew Delicott joining us here on the post-game show. And the number again is 222-9393. The next Tell Direct call-in show driven by Auto Depot and Auction Direct. Looking at some stats from tonight. Sammy, Montreal, 10 shots to Rochester's 5. 8 corner kicks for the Impact, 7 for the Rhinos, and 5 offsides for the Rhinos, none for Montreal. And Sam, it was 1-0 at the half. They scored. I think the goals came at the worst possible times in soccer. The last 5 minutes of a half, or the first 5 minutes of a half, and Scotty Vallow said that second one right at the start of the half was a backbreaker.
Joe, definitely. I turned on Matthew Ford after they got that goal right before halftime, so that's not good. And then boom, they come right out and it happens again. Man, I got some playing time in the second half. Was the man of steel, they call him Johnny Steele. Stuff coming in there. Just the offense wasn't clicking the way we're used to seeing it clicking. Johnny, your thoughts tonight's game, my man?
We struggled to get a goal. They backed it in after they scored the second goal early in the second half. We couldn't get it going. 2 up front. We couldn't get the ball into them. Played rather bad the whole team today. Couldn't get our play going, and that's really it.
Johnny, you came in for Josh Bolton. I'm assuming Bolton played more of a central midfield role. You're playing on the flank. Talk about the change. What did it do tactically, and what were some of your instructions from coach coming in the second half?
It was just go out and make a name for yourself, but it's hard whenever they score such an early goal at that stage, They scored as soon as we came out in the early second half, so then they just packed it in, and we never got a chance to open them up. Maybe if it was 1-0, we might have got a couple of few chances, and it was pretty bad.
You got these guys again on Friday. What's some of the immediate talk in the locker room? You guys chomping at the bit to go at these guys at your home park?
Yeah, well, straight away, Farlow and all the guys were saying, we got a chance to make it right on Friday and then go in with 2 games in hand then and get it back even in points and be joint top of the league. But we got Friday straight away, so we can get this over and done with on Friday and make them look bad, hopefully.
Let's hope so, Johnny. Thank you for your time tonight, and have a safe trip home. We'll talk to you on Friday.
Much.
All right, Johnny Steele joining us here tonight on the Nextel Direct call-in show. Sammy, Johnny Steele came in for Josh Bolton, Penfield favorite, and Josh Bolton played 45 minutes. Was he a defensive midfielder in the game?
Yeah, Josh started off as a defensive midfielder. I thought he held his own. It's just you could tell, though, he needs a little more time maybe in the middle there. Gave up. He played against a team like Montreal, 13,400 people. Overall, I thought he played great, but the second goal, obviously there was a little communication problem there, and they got their goal, Joe. But I thought overall he played great as a defensive midfielder.
Sam, let's take a quick break. When we come back, I want you to tell me about the situation where the Rhinos apparently scored, but it was decided as a no-goal. So we'll talk about that when we come back. Is that all right?
I can't wait for that, baby.
All right, Soccer Sam up in Montreal. We'll go back to him after the break. You're listening to the Nextel Direct call-in show, driven by Auto Depot and Auction Direct on the Rhinos Broadcast Network. This is the Nextel Direct call-in show, driven by Auto Depot and Auction Direct. Joe Giuliano in Rochester, in the studios here in Rochester, New York. Soccer Sam up at Claude Robillard Stadium in Montreal. Sammy, at around the 80th minute tonight, it sounded like Don Stevens did his typical goal celebration. Then he had to take it back. He said there was no goal. Talk about that situation there, please.
Well, Joe, as my recollection, there was a lot happening in the press box at that moment, but Nathan Broski went up with Sutton, didn't touch him, kind of blocked his view. Sutton kind of lost the ball, and then Becky put the ball in the net, and they called it back.
Good call, bad call, questionable call? What do you think?
Well, being that Dombrowski was right in the Sutton's face, I think, usually I think most referees would have called that. So I'm not going to say it was a bad call. When you see the replay of it, I think we're going to have to make our own decision on that. But I think, it could have went either way. I think if it was going the other way, it might have been a goal.
Sammy, what do you say? A couple phone calls?
Let's do it, man. I got some players coming out, but let's clear the lines, brother.
Okay, 222-9393. Let's go to TJ first. TJ, you're on the postgame show. How are you tonight?
Hey, guys, what's up? Unfortunately, as you guys probably could have guessed, I didn't want a chance making the trip up. It was a rough game. I listened to the entire game, but I myself honestly didn't think that goal was not a goal. I think it should have been a goal, but that's just my thoughts. And I just wanted to get both yours and Sammy's thoughts, Joe, about whether we should be playing, or not whether we should be playing for, what do you think the guys' mindsets are playing for, first or second, and why? Because if you remember correctly, and I do, believe me, I remember that what Don said, that if Montreal sweeps us in both of these games, which I know won't happen in Rochester, with it being Doug Miller jersey retiring night there, that they'll have 46 points compared to our 32, but yet they'll have, think that knocks it down to one game in hand since they just won. If I'm not mistaken.
They would have 46 to our 34. And they would have
34.
Games.
That's
two games in hand still after Friday.
Yeah, do you think that can be made up, or what?
I think so.
Basically, just what are we playing for, first or second?
I'm going to go first, Sammy. I've gotten to know Coach Callaway quite well over the last year and a half, 2 years here. Absolutely first place, without a doubt. This guy is on the road playing with three in the back. That tells me they're hungry. They're going to go forward and attack and try and make things happen. TJ, they're going for first. Under Coach Callaway, there's nothing else but first place. Sammy, what do you think?
I totally agree with Joe. They're going for first. The players want to play for first. It's just, you can't win every game. It's only our third loss of the season. Montreal's a really good team. And we just, we had some, Menyager wasn't in the lineup tonight. He's been in the lineup most of the games. That affects you a little bit. So I know they're going for first place.
Yes, and my final thoughts before I let you guys go. I'd honestly I hate to make predictions at home, but Rhinos 2 impact nothing at home on Doug Miller coming back and getting his jersey retired, and I'm coming to the game, so I'll see you guys there, and I'll let you guys keep going. Thanks, guys.
All right, TJ, my friend, thank you for the call. 2-0. I like the sounds of that, TJ. Good stuff. Remember, again, 222-9393. Let's go back to the phones, and we have Brian on the line. Brian, how you doing tonight?
Hi, guys. How are you doing? Hi, Sammy.
We're okay. How are you?
Good. If you have Sammy on the line, tell Sammy that I'm worried about him, and I hope him and Don and everybody's okay in Montreal.
Don't worry about me, Brian. I went to a costume shop. I got an armor on right now. I'm walking around. Nobody even knows I'm under here.
No, because I know of all the stories that happened up in Montreal. But, though, I heard some of the game tonight, and, disappointing was, but when they went into the 44th minute, I'm thinking, oh, boy, here we go. Okay, guys, turn around. You got 45 minutes left. Settle down. You could do this. Then when I heard was, when I got it up there, it was 2-0. I'm like, oh, guys, come on. But that's okay because we have Montreal. No one packs. That's for you, Sammy, and beautiful Paytech Park. I want to throw something out to you guys. First of all, I'm going to be in the hospital tomorrow. I will be there Friday. And what is your thoughts on the no more outside security at Paytech Park? I'd like to get your thoughts on that.
Well, I think it's at Frontier Field, isn't it?
I read the article. If you're referring to today's article, it was at Frontier Field, not Paytech Park.
Well, they're also saying that might happen also at Paytech.
Did it say that? I didn't read that, Brian. I wouldn't worry about it. There hasn't been any incidents. I think it's as safe as could be. There's 13,400 people here tonight, and I don't see very many security guards or policemen out there, so I think you'll be fine, buddy. And, Brian, I got to tell you, I walked around, I saw some people listening to a broadcast, and it wasn't Don Stevens. I asked this one guy who he's listening to, and he said, Brian Quarter. So you're worldwide, brother.
Thank you, Soccer Sammy. Thanks, guys.
All right, Brian, buddy, thanks for the call tonight. Sam, let's get back to your comment about you got armor on?
I'm sorry?
You said you're wearing some armor to protect you?
I got one of those costumes, man. I'm like an armored guy walking around.
Armored guy? You probably look like a tank walking around. I had to get that in.
That wasn't nice, but it's true.
I had to get that in. I love you. You know that.
I melt this metal. You know how much money I make?
The number again is 222-9393. Soccer Sam made the trip. You went up to Montreal today, correct?
I left today around 10:30 with Matthew Ford and made the trip. And,
unbelievable.
Joe, it's a long trip with a lot of traffic. First time I've ever caught this much traffic, and we barely made it to the hotel on time for Mr. Ford to do his own business. But we made it here, a couple little traffic jams, and I'm waiting right now. I got the eyes from Mr. Callaway, so we're gonna have Lori Callaway in a few minutes. He's going into the locker room to do a little business.
I said before he comes out, let me ask you about this. I was surprised tonight that your buddy Weber, who's done a great job filling it for Sutton, he's kind of got a hot hand, didn't get to start tonight, but Greg Sutton comes back for the first time in 14 games. Your thoughts on his performance tonight?
I don't think Sutton was really tested. I mean, he dropped the ball the one time when Dombrowski got in front of him. I don't think he was really tested. I mean, he's their starter. He's their man, and I saw him warming up, and the way he was taking the shots, I had a feeling he was probably going to start. I mean, Andrew Floyd Weber, it's unfortunate, but that's usually what happens in soccer. If you're the starter, especially if you're a keeper, you're in your spot over the years, you won championships. They're just waiting. They're getting Sutton ready for the playoffs and hopefully a championship run for them.
That was great. A great notice during the pregame show that Sutton was warming up and taking shots. You definitely were first on that one tonight. Former Rhinos, Bill Sedgwick got some time. Kirk Wilson, how'd those guys look tonight?
Kirk Wilson had a couple cracks a little high. Billy Sedgwick came in late in the game and didn't get a lot of touch on the ball. But I think overall I thought Kirk Wilson did a decent job playing in the middle for them.
Mauricio Salas, a player who was in trade talks with the Rhinos, maybe Becky Adosian going up to Montreal. That didn't work out. Now Salas is on a tear. How'd he look tonight? He's a quality forward. We noticed him with Puerto Rico. Now with Montreal, we're like, oh boy.
Joe Salas is smooth. I mean, obviously him and Biel up top make things happen. They look really great together. He's an old school real soccer player. He can make things. He turns guys around, shoots when he has a chance. I don't think he had one of his better games. He played okay, not great. But, he's a good player, and he's great for our league to have a player like that in our league. And, it'd be nice to someday to see him in a Rhino uniform, but we'll see what happens next season.
This is the Nextel Direct call-in show driven by Auto Depot and Auction Direct. If you want to get in the lines, the number is 222-9393. Joe Giuliano with Sacker Sam. If you're just tuning in, the Impact 2, the Rhinos nothing from Claude Robillard Stadium. And they say this is the last year for Claude Robillard Stadium. And what do you think? Is Saputo Stadium going to be even more of a challenge for teams in Montreal?
I think so, Joe. This September, they're going to start digging Saputo Stadium. I talked to Joey Saputo before the game. I tell you, they're basically kind of analyzing this whole facility and seeing what they're lacking, what they need. He talked about when you come into the stadium, kind of like ours, an open shoe at the end. They want that to be like the food court, the mingling, the meeting place. It's a tight stadium. I mean, they're basically putting bleachers everywhere they can to make this work right now, so it's got to be tough. We get here early, so we don't know about the parking congestion and leaving and coming to the stadium, but it's obviously not designed for this many people, so they probably can't wait to have the new facility.
Sam, in the pregame show, you said that Montreal is doing something kind of unique as far as a non-profit organization. Talk about that again. They're giving away tickets to sponsor. What's the whole situation there?
Well, they're forming two non-profit groups. One non-profit group's going to own the stadium. That's one entity. And then they're going to have a non-profit group that owns the team, which happens right now. Joe, I got to interrupt that thought right now. I have with us now the coach of the Rochester Rhinos, Laurie Calloway. Mr. Calloway, a tough loss tonight. Your thoughts on tonight's game?
Hey, guys.
Hey, Coach. How you doing?
All right. Well, I'm not sure what they've reported, but I'm not very happy with it. But, it's our worst performance of the season against a team that we did particularly well against here in the last game. But they came very, very high pressure in the first half and put us under pressure all over the field. And we didn't deal with that very well. Having said that, they'd only had two opportunities in the first 42 minutes, and the third one they scored with. We'd had one opportunity in the first minute, the Delicate's chance, but apart from that, we didn't trouble Sutton too much in the first half. In the second half, we went to a 4-4-2 and tried to do more about Braz getting forward, who would hurt us, and Lyson, who scored the goal. And we didn't play particularly well in that formation either, but we didn't give up many opportunities. They really, apart from the goal, I'm not sure what Vallo's saves are, but I mean, he didn't have a busy night, let's put it that way, but neither did Sutton. But that's the way Montreal play. They play for those few opportunities. They're able to get them usually, and then they're very, very good at holding on to 1 and 2 goal leads. And we have to admit that they were the better side tonight. But Friday's another day. A great opportunity to come back quickly, which is always nice when you've had a bad day. You don't want to wait a week. We're going to have to wait 2 days, and we can get back and instead of feeling like we feel like right now, we can feel like kings again. So if we win that game, we're back to 6 points within them, 6 points with 2 games in hand, and it's still in our hands.
Coach, what about the timing of the goals? End of the first half, right at the start of the second half. What does that do to a team?
Well, I was disappointed with the way we played, but I was looking forward to getting in at half time and making some changes and adjustments and giving the guys a bit of a rocket, and felt that we might have been able to get something from it. With the one goal going in at 42 minutes, that hey, Lars, well done, son. At the one goal going in at 42 minutes, they're tough after that. They tend to change their system and play much more, defensively, and they're very, very good at it. So it was sort of a bit of a killer. It deflated us a little bit for them to score that late in the first half. So, it was a naive mistake on our part in midfield. We lost possession, and they made the most of it. We had a great chance in the second half to get back in the game. We didn't put it away, and the game, we sort of controlled the game in the last 20, 30 minutes, but it was because they weren't coming high pressure then at that point. They were just defending.
Coach, you guys drive back to Rochester tonight. What's the schedule like? You got a game on Friday against Montreal again. Do you train tomorrow? Do you take it off and go at it on Friday? What's the schedule coming up for the Rhinos?
Oh, no, we've got to go back to work tomorrow. We're going to make them sleep. The bus is much more comfortable than the normal buses we've been used to. This one's been customized for us. They'll eat, and there'll be no movies. They'll be sleeping for 8 hours, and we'll get them in probably around 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. We probably won't get back till about 4 a.m., 5 a.m., so, we'll give them time to go home and then get them back in and start work again.
What about some of the guys who didn't make the trip? Johnny Manyanger, health-wise, and Friday, is he going to be probably a figure in the lineup, maybe an option for you?
Oh, absolutely. Johnny's contusion needed another game's rest. There was questions as to whether we should have bring him anyway because of the immigration. It was probably unwise to do that, so we didn't. It's probably good that he's missed this and got that thigh completely. I assume it's going to be much better with that extra couple of days rest. And he'll certainly be figuring in the lineup for Friday night, yeah.
Coach, 19 games played, 9-3-7. Great stuff so far. Just unlucky tonight, and another chance to go get him on Friday at Paytech Park. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks for your time.
Okay, guys. Thanks very much. Appreciate being on. Thank you.
All right, Coach Calloway, going to jump on the bus and head down to Rochester from Claude Robillard Sports Complex after the Rochester Rhinos and the Montreal Impact 2-0 win for Montreal. But again, 19 games played. The Rhinos are 9-3-7. Let's not get crazy. It's a tough loss, and we hate to lose to Montreal. But the grand scheme of things, we've got them again on Friday. Another opportunity to go head-to-head with these tough guys.
Joe, yeah, definitely. And, Joe, I got to tell you, this whole facility, I'm inside right now outside the locker room. There's hundreds of people waiting here for autographs. They just got it, man. They got the feel. I don't think there's one team in our league other than us that has this kind of situation. I don't think there's a team in MLS that has this kind of fan base. I mean, the people in the city are just into this team. And the whole Wednesday night thing, it's just beautiful. I mean, Joey Sputo said on the weekends in the city, a lot of things are going on. So Wednesday night, soccer night. It's a break in the week, and they're just knocking them dead. So gotta give them credit.
It's courageous stuff, definitely in Montreal, and it's great to see. Even though it's Montreal, it's great to see soccer in North America really thriving, and another stadium coming up in Montreal. The number here again is 222-9393. This is the Nextel Direct call-in show, driven by Auto Depot and Auction Direct. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back, and we'll speak with Soccer Sam and maybe a few more Rhino players before they board on the bus coming back to Rochester from Montreal. When we come back, Soccer Sam, Joe Giuliano on the Nextel Direct call-in show on the Rhinos Broadcast Network. Welcome back. This is the Nextel Direct call-in show driven by Auto Depot and Auction Direct. Joe Giuliano in beautiful Rochester, New York. Soccer Sam up in, we'll call it very nice, Montreal, Quebec. Sammy, you've got another player with you right now up in Canada.
I have the player of the game with me tonight, Mr. John Ball. And John has some information about Montreal's travel arrangements. He's doing some deals here with these guys. But Johnny played amazing tonight. And these guys coming to Rochester tonight? Is that what's going on? They're probably coming tomorrow. So, yeah. What's up?
Johnny, tough one tonight, 2-0 against the Impact. Coach mentioned it, though. One good thing is he said it was not the best performance for the Rhinos this year, but you guys have a chance to go right back at it on Friday.
Yeah, that's the best thing about this. We don't have to dwell on this forever. We'll just take the bus ride home and regroup as a team, and hopefully we show up at home. It was kind of embarrassing the way we showed up today and playing the first half, but the best thing about it is we get to come out on Friday and play.
From Scotty Vallow, Matthew Delicott, and Coach, sounds like Impact came out with a lot more pressure than maybe was expected. Did you feel that same way?
Yeah, well, the weather was beautiful, and the last couple games we played in heat wave, so it seemed like our team was in a heat wave, and it looked like we were in quicksand in the first half. And, when you go down 1-0 in Montreal in front of 14,000, that's it's a tough hole to climb out of. And, we put ourselves in that. We just had to, bottom line is we got to regroup as a team and, start liking each other and get along, and we'll do all right.
So what'd you think? What was lacking from the Rhinos tonight? It didn't sound like they got too many opportunities up top. One quick one by Delicott, but other than that, Becky hit the crossbar once, I think, and then it sounded like a pretty quiet night up top.
Yeah, it just seemed like every time we got into the final third, it was the last pass was lacking. We gave balls away, and we just, just make mistakes after mistakes. And against a quality team like this, it's going to cost you. Against Atlanta, you can do that. Against the Toronto, you can do that. But against the Montreal, you got to come with your A game. Here's a battle, a chance to go in first place, and we just got to stack up and play. And it didn't seem like we did that.
Well, that chance is still there. 2 games in hand, a big one on Friday. We'll get you right back into that battle. Have a safe trip home, and we'll talk to you on Friday at Paytech Park.
Thanks a lot. I hope you guys can see you. It'll be a big game. Doug Miller night, so it'll be fun.
All right, Johnny Ball, thanks a lot. As usual, always first class coming on either the halftime show or post-game show. John Ball, who Soccer Sam said was the player of the game. So, Sammy, with some big words there. Sammy, you're back with us?
I'm back with you. Charles Becky, you got to get on the bus, man. Charles, was that a goal? What happened there?
It was a goal. It was a goal. Yeah, it was a goal.
Isn't that the second time that happened? Last time Montreal, same thing. They called the goal back. It's something. What happened? The referees don't like you here? What's going on? I think it's a conspiracy against King Kong, Charles Becky.
No, I think it's a goal, I think we got to do better, basically, and I got to put myself in position to score goals for the team.
All right, Charles. All right, get on the bus before you get fined, man. I ain't paying the fine again, Charles. All right, Charles, King Kong Becky. I don't know, man. He says it was a goal. It depends, Joe, how you look at it. Hopefully we'll see the replay and we'll see what happens there.
That's a tough one, especially Becky, formerly of the Impact. Then there was talk about him possibly being traded back to Montreal, so I'm sure he wanted to show well tonight. And he's a first-class guy, though. Sounds like he's upset, but still got some pep in his voice.
Yeah, really, it's got to be tough for a player to know you're in the locker room and they're thinking about trading you and, the pressure of coming in and playing harder and trying harder. But, hey, he did his best when he came into the game. And Charles, he's a real deal. He just got to, get back into the groove. At the beginning of the year, he was in the groove. He's got to get back in. And any good forward, that happens. Sometimes you lose that groove. But I tell you one guy that's always in the groove, the man for the Rhinos, Mr. Matthew Ford, Executive Vice President of the Rhinos, the Rattlers, and Paytech Park. Mr. Ford made the road trip here to Montreal. Your thoughts on not only the facility and the attendance, but the game itself?
Sam, it was almost like a playoff atmosphere tonight. A full house, and Montreal were up for it, and we never really fired on all cylinders till 30 minutes to go in the game. So it was a good experience coming here and seeing everything. I wish we'd have played better, but Montreal are doing good things in the league, and we can all learn from those teams that are doing good things.
Matthew, it's Joe Giuliano. How are you doing tonight?
Good, Joe. How are you?
My sympathies. Driving up with Soccer Sam and driving back, it's going to be a long day for you.
It has been a long day already. I've got a few more gray hairs than when I started, but Sam's got a nifty navigation system in his car, so I think we'll be okay.
We talked about Becky before you came on, and Connolly Adosian possibly talks of trading to Montreal for Salas, but you guys were working so hard at possibly putting a trade together, but with the guaranteed contracts and such, why is it so difficult to pull the trigger on something like this? What was some of the, maybe not every detail, but some of the behind-the-scenes information? What was going on with the trade situations?
I don't want to get into it too much, but when you're talking about trading, players, there's a lot to consider. Teams have to look at contracts and guarantees and particulars and do currency transfers, and it's not always apples to apples because different teams have different incentives and things built into contracts. So I think at the time we were ready to make some things happen, and they weren't as eager, and then the tables kind of turned, and we've got what we've got now, and we've got to make it work. And Charles is a big asset, and he's perhaps trying a little too hard right now, but he's obviously proven in the first dozen games of the season that he can perform, he can do it, he can be that target man that plays off of delicate, and we're looking for him to find that form again.
You guys are really seem to be very service-oriented now, having the town hall meeting. Up to this point, your assessment how Paytech Park and things are going so far?
It's a long journey. It has been, obviously, to get the place open, and it will continue to be a journey for us, and we are looking to make positive changes, and that's why we had the fan forum and got the feedback, and I spent much of the trip riding up with Sam reading over the fan surveys that we asked the season ticket holders to take, and some some great feedback there in large numbers. We've had close to 500 people take the survey, and now I can see, actual comments and look, at, what the top concerns are and what the top likes are and what, people like over Frontier Field and what they dislike about the new stadium, and whether they like the music and whether they like the dance team. All those things I'm getting to see, in large quantities of feedback now. So it's good to see, and with that information, we can make positive changes.
Friday night, a huge night. Not only Montreal coming to town, but a first-class move by the organization. Doug Miller night. Talk about what fans can expect, come this beautiful evening at Paytech Park.
Well, we have lots in store for that night. Obviously, it's a big game, as Laurie mentioned on the show earlier. We win Friday. We're back 6 points behind Montreal with 2 games in hand. It's always nice to have the points on the board, but, this game Friday is as big as ever, especially after the defeat tonight. So we have enough incentive there, but obviously the festivities are kind of spiced up by having Doug Miller in for his night. We're going to recognize him in many, many different ways. I'm not going to spoil all the surprises, but, we will be officially retiring his jersey and unveiling it at Paytech Park, and we have a few other things in store for Doug and the fans, which truly will pay tribute to a guy that, put this franchise on the map, scored, so many goals, put us in position to win championships and won championships for us. So, it's a great thing we're doing. We're glad Doug is coming out and enjoying it, and bringing a lot of his friends and family, I know, too. So I think it's going to be a good night for everybody.
Well, Matthew, we appreciate your hard work. Everything seems to be falling into place, and I feel bad for you, though. 5 hours with Soccer Sam. Better you than me. Good luck.
Thanks, Joe. I think I'm going to ask Sam to go to sleep in the back, and I might drive home.
There you go. Good idea.
Good night.
Thanks, Matthew. We'll talk to you on Friday. All right, Matthew Ford joining us here on the post-game show. Sam, I took a couple shots at you. I feel bad
you make fun of me all the time. It's like embarrassing. My wife listens to the show. She cries and stuff.
It's like I tell my students.
My driving abilities, disabilities. I'm doing the best I can with the ability I have, Joe.
Your wig. Don't forget your wig.
Well, I got my wig washed today. It looks better.
Here's what I tell my students. If I love you and I tease you a lot, it means I love you.
That means you love me if you tease me.
You're the best.
You're the best, buddy. Thank you. Hey, Joe.
So, Sam, what do you think? We wrap this thing up?
I can't wait to Doug Miller thing. I'm going to give me I wear a medium jersey. I'm going to get a medium. Well, I'm going to probably get 3X because I like to wear them a little bigger. But I'm going to get number 19 and run around the stadium and pay tribute to the man, the myth, the franchise, Mr. Doug Miller. 4-5-4 kick. All you coaches better be there. And, Joe, you better wear the 19. You promised you would.
You got it for sure.
All right, brother.
Sammy, thanks for all your help on the pregame show. Great work on the postgame show, getting players and your analysis, as usual, on the mark. Thanks for everything, buddy.
Thanks, Joe. Good night.
All right, Soccer Sam, driving back from Montreal, 5 hours, as Matthew Ford says, he'll put Sammy in the trunk and he'll drive himself. If he's smart, that's what he'll do. No, just kidding. Have a safe trip home, guys, and thanks for all your help here tonight. Again, the final score from Montreal, 2-0 Impact over the Rhinos, unfortunately. The Rhinos coming up a little short, again, in Montreal in the last 12 matches, 0-10-2 at Claude Robillard Stadium. Let's wrap this thing up. Thank you to Don Stevens, our wonderful producer, Megan, and Soccer Sam for his pregame and postgame festivities. I'm Joe Giuliano. I'll talk to you on Friday night at 7:05 p.m., right here on the Rhinos Broadcast Network with the pregame show, and then Don Stevens takes it over with play-by-play for Rochester and Montreal. Second